This week, in Cranston, Rhode Island, a man threatening to jump off a bridge while wearing a tuxedo leads to a disturbing crime scene with the victim seemingly killed in 3 different ways, all while a neighbor looks on in horror. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another absolutely insane edition of Small Town Murder. Yeah. This is wild stuff. This originally started as an Express episode. Yeah. And as I put it together, I'm like, oh, this is way too much for an Express. This is just too much stuff and too much crazy going on that we need to hear about. I was like, I can cut this out. And I'm like, but that's so good. No, I can't cut it out. It's happening. So we have a wild one for you today. Before we get to that, absolutely head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets for live shows, everybody.
Is that what it is?
Can't wait for the live shows. You guys are going to love the live shows. Hilarious, a lot of fun, and just have a good night. Leave with your cheeks hurting. It's going to be fun stuff. And hear a murder story. Next show's up on the docket here, September 18th at the Pabst in Milwaukee. Oh, yeah. Not a lot of tickets left for that, so get them right this second. And then Minneapolis the next night, State Theater. We can't wait. That's going to be a great show. We love that theater, and we love Minneapolis, so that's going to be fun. Then October 3rd in Dallas, October 16th in San Jose, the 17th in Sacramento, then November 13th, Tarrytown, and the 14th in Boston. So get your tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get all those. Also, you should listen to our other shows. Yeah. For sure. Check out Crime and Sports. I get it. You kind of really like sports. You don't have to like sports. We promise. Jimmy promised them. We promise. See? We promise you. You do not have to like sports. You have to like comedy and idiots who fuck up when they don't have to. That's all you have to like. It's a great
story.
It's great stuff. Then, it's just like this, except an athlete who messes everything up and doesn't have to. Then listen to Your Stupid Opinions, because who doesn't want to hear people's reviews of places you don't care about? It's the greatest show in the world. So check those out. Get yourself Patreon as well. Mm-hmm. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all the bonus material. Everything. All you have to be is $5 a month or above, and you get everything we put out. That's everything. As soon as you subscribe, about 400 back bonus episodes you've never heard before, you get those. Then you get 2 new ones every other week. One Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you get them all, everybody. This week for Crime and Sports, Death on Skis. All sorts of crazy skiing acts. Yeah. That's a deadly sport. We're going to talk about it. Then for Small Town Murder, Love After Lockup Time. Hello, it's back. Season 6. We have been talking about this amongst ourselves. We've done about 12 episodes all by ourselves with nothing recording, so we can't wait to talk about that for you guys. We're very excited. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all of that, and you get everything we put out. Crime and Sports, Your Stupid Opinions, both Small Town Murders, all ad-free with your Patreon. And on top of that, you get a shout-out at the end of the show. You can't beat it. It's the best value going. So do that and hang out with us more. Disclaimer time.
Hey.
It's a comedy show, everybody. It's a comedy show. We're comedians. We are going to tell a story that absolutely has horrible murder in it, or else, obviously, the title of the show would be pretty moot and pointless at that point. But, that's what's going to happen here. And you go, how do those two things go together? You'd be surprised how easily. See, the thing is, there's a lot to make fun of here. You can make fun of a small town because we're all from somewhere that deserves to be made fun of. Make fun of if some police force lets a murderer go free for years so they can kill a bunch more. I think that deserves mockery. We make fun of murderers because what other recourse do we have? We can't. What am I going to go down there and, take his commissary away? I can't do anything about it, so we can make fun of him. But, that's how it works. But what we never do is we never make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why, James?
Because we're assholes.
But
we're not scumbags. See, we feel like they've been through enough. So, that's how this works here. Now, if you think that sounds great, you're going to hear a wild show. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever go together and you have no idea what the hell we're doing here, well, I don't know why you clicked on it, but I think you'll like it. That's the thing. Check it out.
That's why you
give it a chance. If you don't like it, I don't want to hear about it, though. No complaining later, because you've been warned. That said, let's do this. I think it's time, everybody, to sit back. What do you say? Clear the lungs. Arms to the sky. Let's all shout. Shut up. and give me murder. Let's do this, everybody.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Yeah.
We're going to Rhode Island this week.
It's a nice place.
It's tiny and nice. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's not bad. There's some nice areas there. The beaches are nice. I like those rocky beaches.
Cranston's one of them. Cranston's beautiful.
It is. It's not bad. Cranston's not exactly a tiny town, but you got to understand well, you know what it is. Everything in Rhode Island is miniature. Let's just say that. I consider anything but Providence a small town in Rhode Island, pretty much.
It's like a little snow globe.
It's what it is. Yeah, it's exactly right. So this is Cranston, Rhode Island, southeastern Rhode Island, about 15 minutes outside of Providence. So you're
it's not far.
Really close to good Italian food there on Federal Hill there. It's good stuff. 25 minutes to North Smithfield, not Springfield, Rhode Island, which was our last Rhode Island episode, which was episode 674, Death Party Crime Spree. That was a big party where people got together and it got out of hand and people died. Yeah. So this is in Providence County, area code 401. A little bit of history on this town here. Now, there's a debate over who the town was named after.
Not Brian.
I'm pretty sure it's not Brian. But there was a governor, Samuel Cranston, who was the longest-serving Rhode Island governor, and his grandson, Thomas Cranston, who was serving as the Speaker of the Rhode Island House of Representatives when the town was created. So they argued about who it was named after, but it really doesn't matter because they're the same family.
Same guy. Just the same name. Yeah.
Your family is who we're naming it after rather than the guy. A lot of Italians in Cranston, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. There's pockets of Rhode Island that were prevalent in there, and that's one of them, apparently. A lot of immigrants from Italy who settled in the Knightsville section of Cranston in the early 1900s. Therefore, it is known for the St. Mary's Feast.
Oh,
it's for the kids. Right? The St. Mary's Feast, inspired by the Feast of the Madonna della Civita, which is celebrated in Italy, in the town that they're all from. Since 1905, the St. Mary's Feast has been a week-long festival in celebration in July. So we'll get to that and things to do. But reviews of this town, let's find out what people think here. Here's 5 stars. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Couldn't be better. I like how the community gets together during the summer for a festival we call St. Mary's Feast.
Right.
It is always a good time to see people having fun. That sentence. Roll that around in your fucking brain for a minute there. It's always a good time to see people having a good time. Excellent. Great.
I have the most fun watching others have fun.
That's what I'm saying. That's like saying, when I see people fuck, my dick gets hard. That's the equivalent of what they just said. Is it not?
Yeah. That is your visual porno for fun.
For sure. This must be a guy. They're more into the visual aspect of it.
He's a visual guy.
A woman would be like, I like to hear people's emotions about how they, I like to know their feelings about it. There's a guy who just wants to see tits, and that's it. What I would just want to see tits and cannolis. That's all I'm interested in here. What I would like to change is the amount of construction being done throughout the town. Well, then it's not you're improving things when you're constructing. It causes a lot of traffic and unnecessary road rage. A lot of people screaming at each other in terrible Rhode Island accents is hilarious.
James, this is where I went to a wedding and everybody was from Cranston, and the groomsman showed up with a black eye because he got in a fight in traffic.
Yes. Yes. This is a bunch of crazy Italian guys with Rhode Island accents. That is scary.
Got in a road rage fist fight in a suit on the way to a wedding.
Peter Griffin is a real guy. In Rhode Island. When they're trying to back the boat in and the guy's saying something, he goes, "Oh, why don't you get back in the car with your wife?" That's fucking Rhode Island in a nutshell.
His face was all red from getting dotted.
It's amazing.
His eye was black.
That is awesome. I love it. He's like, you should see the other guy. 3 stars. Cranston's a nice place to live if you like small towns. That's the thing, too. It feels very small towny. It doesn't feel city in this area,
Yeah. It's a lot of. Well, you'll get to it,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of like upper middle class people. And they're all just such great people. It's a great place.
Jimmy's like, oh, they're upper middle. I love them. They pay their bills. No pores is what Jimmy just said. They have no pores, and I love it.
None of those scumbags bringing down the property value.
None of these dirtbags out there. In both Cranston and all of Rhode Island, everybody knows everybody, which allows you a chance to make easy connections to get to know others. Sure. Yeah, there's malls in Phoenix that are bigger than the whole state. So
yeah.
Here's 2 stars. Town is literally full of garbage.
Oh.
Like you see people throwing garbage out of their cars onto the streets. People ride loud motorbikes around at all hours of the day and night. You can hear gunshots from shootings in South Providence. The children roam in packs and graffiti public buildings whilst also destroying public parks.
All the children do that, huh?
Yeah, all the children. The police get annoyed if you call them and rarely follow up. That's because they're like, it's you again. It's her again.
Stop calling.
She saw 3 kids walking down the street and is calling the cops because they're, it's like they're
carrying baseball bats. They were on their way to T-ball.
They're all wearing, and I think it's a gang because they're all wearing the same thing. They're all wearing a shirt that says the same thing across the front, and they all have a hat on, and there's clicking when they walk. I don't know what their shoes are, but they're really...
Their shirts say Thrashers. They're going to thrash.
They're doing something. Shirts say Bombers on them. We need to really get them. They could be up to something. People
calling their shots.
Calling their shots and everything. Jesus. People in this town, currently 82,654. So still not a huge town. And it had less people when this murder happened.
Yeah.
More men than women here, which is rare for a large town. 50.3% men, which is strange. Usually it's the other way around. Median age here is 40. So it's just above the national average. It's about 47% married. Everything's pretty close to the national averages. Nothing's too far straying, single with children, that kind of thing. Race in this town, 71.9% white, 5.1% black, 5.6% Asian, 13.9% Hispanic.
All right.
Religion here, 54% of the people are religious, which is slightly above the national average.
Boy, oh boy.
I'll give you one guess what the
overwhelming.
Oh yeah,
Catholic.
This is 45% of the people here are Catholic. As we know, Catholics are the Baptists of the North, everybody.
Of New England.
Of the Northeast for sure.
Yeah.
And especially in a heavily Italian area, you're going to get that. 1.2% Jewish. Holy shit.
Get out of here.
It's been so long. Let's sing it, baby.
Goddamn.
Hava Nagila. Hava Nagila. Hava Nagila. I don't know the words. Hey. All right, there we go. 1.2%. So anyway, unemployment here is about average. By the way, we've been asked recently why we do that because someone just started listening and they're like, why do you sing Hava Nagila? It's because out of like 100 towns, we'd have one town that would have more than 1% Jewish population. So when we hit more than 1%, we're like, holy shit, it's
shocking.
It's shocking, and we have to sing.
Yeah.
Unemployment rate's about average. Median household income here, $77,145, which is about $7,000-8,000 over the national average.
Middle class.
Upper middle class, the way Jimmy likes it. Cost of living here, 100 being regular average. Here it's 108, so not too far off.
Sure.
Housing kind of fits into that. Median home cost here, $377,700.
It's not so bad.
Which isn't so terrible considering other parts of the Northeast that are very expensive. Now, here we go. If we've convinced you, damn it, you need a feast. And you don't care if people are throwing garbage out their windows. We have for you.
Upper middle class, your favorite?
Well, it's upper middle class garbage, so it's going to be. You should collect that and keep it. It's probably good.
It's recyclable or biodegradable.
It's probably worth something, is what I'm getting at. Yeah. So we have for you the Cranston, Rhode Island real estate report. Average 2-bedroom rental here is a little above the national average. Actually, that was the high one, $1,580 for a 2-bedroom rental. That's pushing it.
$1,600.
That's a lot. House number 1, outside does not look great. I'm gonna be honest with you. It is half painted.
Yeah.
It's the front of it. It's like a bright blue.
Yeah.
But it is literally half done. Like they ran out of paint halfway through and said, we'll get to that tomorrow, and never came back. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
But they've been paid, so we'll wait.
We'll wait. Inside, it's all wood. Wood floors, the wood panel walls, wood ceilings. It's like a hunting cabin in there. It's wild. 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,272 square feet. Not a big lot. $274,900 for that.
Jesus.
And you're going to need a couple more cans of blue paint to finish that front there. House number 2 is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,554 square foot house. So not bad. It's your typical kind of little vinyl siding house. Not that little, decent sized house. It's got a backyard fenced in where you can see your neighbor right there. It's right on top of it.
600 square feet, is that what you said?
1,550, yeah, not bad. Built in 1956. It's an older house. $399,900. That's kind of your average little family house there. Then, well, you've done very well for yourself. You've collected all the garbage, and it's worth a lot. Here is a 4-bedroom, 5-bath, T-bowl for each and every bee-hole, everybody. 4,159 square feet. Big old house. It's only on half an acre, actually. Not that big of a lot, but it's a weird, modern-looking house. That's the only way I can describe it. It's got weird lines and weird shapes, weird angles. It's a strange house. $1.7 million for that house.
Holy shit.
It's apparently in a very exclusive neighborhood.
Yeah.
From what the listing says, you know, where Jimmy goes, only upper middle class. Yeah. Very upper middle class.
Where are we upper middle class?
And it just had a $100,000 price cut. So they're serious.
All right.
They ain't fucking
100,000 price?
100,000 price cut. They want to sell this thing. Things to do here. Here we go, everybody. The 121st St. Mary's Feast this year.
We've done this 120 times already.
1905 is when it started. It runs from July 15th through the 19th, so it's over now. So good luck. But next year, plan for it. There will be religious services to honor the Madonna della Civita, along with a road race. So
that is one letter off from road rage.
Along with a road rage. Now, what they do, the prayer and the race it's one event.
Yeah.
So you got to say a certain amount of Hail Marys, but you got to do that, and then you get to go run. So you got to pray quick, too. It's a quick pray and a quick go. Some people are left praying, they're left behind. You really got to get in there, get up to the line. It's like a decathlon. So there's that. Saturday morning, there's live music at the park gazebo. There's food, games, and a fireworks display on Sunday night. And this is from the public announcement of this. Like they sent out to all the local media.
Press release.
Yeah, their press release. And it says, there's all this stuff. And then it says, Cranston police said they'll have a, quote, strong visible presence throughout the feast, which includes plainclothes officers and technology to monitor the crowd. It's a bunch of guineas eating sausage and peppers. How much fucking monitoring needs to be done here?
We're going to fly some drones.
Yep. So this was this year, okay? Because it just happened. Wow. Yeah. So then I found the day after the event, a big article, 20 arrested for fighting during the event. And I'm like, that sounds about right for the Northeast, though. Why even arrest people in the Northeast for fighting? It's going to happen. Just separate them and let them go their separate ways. Who cares? They
do it on the way to weddings. Why would they not do it?
It's the amount of times growing up where it was like, yeah, I guess I'm fighting now. It's insane. It's fucking crazy. Everybody here's fighting constantly.
Wow.
So 20 people, the fights broke out following the fireworks.
Oh my God.
That was a good grand finale, eh? Hey, fuck you. That grand finale was terrible. And they're just going back and forth.
Piece of shit.
That was a piece of shit finale. So here it says, quote, at one point, there was a disturbance on Green Avenue and Colwell Street, and it immediately grabbed the attention of our drone operator as he designated multiple officers to respond to that location where there was a large fight.
They actually were flying drones to monitor.
To monitor the St. Mary's Feast. The fight, the police identified 9 people as 4 16-year-olds, 2 17-year-olds, an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, and then a complete dipshit 23-year-olds for some reason getting in the fucking mix there. That's the only person who should be arrested. You shouldn't have even been hanging out in this group. Get out of here.
He was defending his brother, I'm sure of it.
I was going to say, I know there's a little brother involved or somebody grabbed his sister's ass or something. Authorities say the ages of those arrested range from 16 to 39 out of the total 20 people.
Yeah.
And they're scrubbing through video now, expecting to charge more people with disorderly conduct.
We're going to investigate.
Why? A disorderly conduct investigation? How much time and money do you people have to waste?
They're just pissing money away on a guy going, click, click, zoom in, play, stop, zoom in.
Let's give that guy a $50 fine. Who cares?
See-through punches.
Crime rate in this area, actual crime, not teenagers fighting, which is what they do. Right. Crime rate here, property crime is about 20% under the national average. So of all this, it's horrible, it's this, it's a hellscape, 20% under the national average. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, about half the national average.
Incredibly safe.
You know, a fucking, it's Thunderdome is basically what they're talking here from that one review.
All the children are in packs.
They're roving in packs, and if you call, the cops will get annoyed with you. I bet with you, because you're specifically always calling.
Stop. Ugh. Leave the kids alone.
That said, let's talk about some murder, shall we?
All right.
Let's get into this. Okay. Like I said, this started off as an express because I don't know if we've ever covered an episode that had zero media coverage. I mean,
I don't know if we have.
Zero. I could not find a fucking article about this. I couldn't find a newspaper, and I have 3 different newspaper archives. Like, I have all could not find one goddamn single solitary article. The public just completely didn't care about this, and it's the craziest case ever. I don't know if it was like kept hidden or something for a while. It's all I can think.
To a governor or something?
Not a governor, but there's a relation, but not to anybody in power of any kind. It's very weird. So I don't understand it. But luckily, Rhode Island, thank you, Rhode Island, has about the most extensive court documents in the country where whoever sits down to write those, the clerk, they're like, I'm going to stop my novel for tonight and pick up on this. And it's awesome. So thank you, Rhode Island.
Only write this.
And I'm going to write this in, but I'm going to make it good. I mean, it's good. So that said, here we go. September the 19th, 1999. Now, it's barely September 19th because it's just after midnight here. All right. There's a 911 call coming from a lady named Alma Miller. Now, Alma Miller says there's some shit going on that I'm seeing in my neighborhood here. Oh. She said on the tape she's crying hysterically. Not crying, but like yelling and screaming and sometimes talking into the phone. And then he's talking over here and then back on the phone.
Oh, she's yelling at other things.
Doing that. Yeah, she's like not focused.
Not present.
Yeah, like she puts the phone down and yells shit into the phone that's not near the phone. Like it's very unfocused. She said there's a person lying in the middle of the street in front of their house and she thinks someone ran them over.
Oh.
So that's a big deal. Now the police asked her if a car hit the person. Did you see a car hit them? She said that she couldn't explain. I don't know. She said someone was backing out of their driveway and someone was lying in the street maybe, and maybe they got run over by this car that was backing out of the driveway, but why was the person lying in the street? She's like, I don't know what happened. I just know it looks like somebody got ran over because they're in the street, and I think I saw somebody.
And they're laying down.
They're laying down, and someone backed out, and I think I saw them. She said the car that hit the person is gone, and she said, I saw it actually happen. I saw the person get run over, but I don't know why or how it happened. So the cop said, did the car just come flying down the street and hit the person, then take off? Right. And she said, quote, no. The guy was backing out of his driveway, and I don't know. I heard someone yell, help. There was a wedding. I don't know if the guy was drunk. I don't know.
Okay.
This is a confusing call. What the hell are you talking about? There was a wedding? What? Where did a wedding come into this?
Almost flustered.
Did any of the groomsmen have black eyes? That's what I'd like to know. That's the only thing I'm wondering about this wedding they're asking her.
Was the punch thrown?
Any punches thrown? She said the guy, she thinks the guy dragged them down the street, whoever's in the road. She thinks they got dragged, and she said it was the black car driven by the guy who sort of lives across the street. She doesn't know if it was him in the car, but she knows it was his car.
Okay.
Okay. So they're like, okay, well, who the fuck lives at this house that we're talking about and backing out of? Let's start there and let's try to figure this whole thing out. Well, at the house, there's a couple of people. One person who lives there full time and the other person who lives there like 80% of the time. One of those relationships where one person has another apartment but lives with the other person most of the time and then goes back, once a week to get clothes.
It's fairly new still.
It's one of those. Well, not really, as we'll talk about.
No?
But this is Gene.
They just keep for another place.
Just keep another place, for a while. Gene Robinson, Geanne, Gene. Gene Robinson here is one of the people who lives across the street here. Yeah. She's in her early 40s, and she's living across the street from Alma Miller. And little background on her very quickly. She'd been married once before to Wayne Robinson. That's how she got her name. I believe her maiden name is Gerard, Girard, Gerard. So she's married to Wayne Robinson. At this point in 1999, she has 2 adult children from that marriage that are grown and out of the house and everything. They're not anywhere in this mess here. She works as a charge nurse, so she's got it's a stressful job and has a lot of shit going on in her hard worker,
Thanks a lot, yeah.
Her home is on Fiat Avenue in Cranston, and she has a boyfriend who is the guy who owns that black car that they talked about. They had met in August of 1996 at Rhodes on the Pawtuxet. Rhodes on the Pawtuxet. Which is a historic recreational complex at Rhodes Beach on the Pawtuxet River in Cranston, Rhode Island, originally consisting of a series of buildings, including a stateroom, pavilion, and waterfront facilities. Today, only a ballroom and gazebo survive. So, someplace to go hang out near the shore, I guess, the two of them. Mm-hmm. That's where they met, and they started dating August of 96. So that's interesting here.
So they've been dating 3 years now?
They've been dating 3 years. That's what I mean. It's a little long to ride the fence here. Either move in or don't. You know what I mean? Either you live in one place, she lives in the other, or if you're there most of the time, just go get the rest of your shit. What are you doing?
I don't know. That sounds fucking awesome.
That doesn't sound terrible, but
I don't know whose idea it is, but...
Well, when you hear about it, it's hers because there's some stuff going on here. Now, the guy who she's in a relationship with is Edwin Edwards. First of all,
is that right?
You named your kid Ed Edwards, number 1.
Why'd you do that?
Edwin Branford Edwards III, actually.
That's why.
And his background is very interesting. Now, by the way, this is a nightmare because Edwin Edwards, there is a serial killer named Ed Edwards from the 70s. Then there's also a goddamn governor of Louisiana who was insanely corrupt in the fucking 80s who had all sorts of trials and shit. So his name was Edwin Edwards. So I found everything on every other Edwin Edwards on earth except for this one. But I have plenty on him
Nobody should have done that ever, and 3 people at least did that, and 2 of them have prominent issues.
It's fucking crazy. Now, apparently, some people say he goes by Brad, which makes no sense because Brad is nowhere in his name.
Bradford is the middle name?
Branford.
Oh.
Now, other people say he goes by Bran, but who the fuck goes by Bran? It's weird. It's awful. So all the court documents have him as Brad. So he must be going as Brad. That's all I can imagine. So we're going to call him Brad because that's what the state of Rhode Island calls him. So that's where we're going.
It's not his name.
It's not his name at all. We should just call him Ed because he has 2 Eds in his name, but be easier. Let's call him Ed. Fuck Brad.
Yeah.
You're Ed now, Brad.
This is second week in a row we had Edwina last week.
Edwina. We had an Edwina, yeah. So he has a brother named Gary and 2 sisters named Debbie and Cindy. Debbie with an I and Cindy with a Y. I don't know how they decided that. Okay.
All right.
No E on the Debbie, but just an I. Now, his grandpa is an interesting cat.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I did some research and found out his grandpa, who died in 1963, is named Eddie Daddy Edwards. That's his nickname, Daddy, because he is a very famous pioneering jazz trombonist from New Orleans.
Oh.
Yeah. We're talking 1910 era.
Yeah.
Like when that shit first started going on.
Cool shit.
Yeah. He looks like Frank Perdue, basically. If you remember Frank Perdue, the chicken guy. He looks like an old white guy with jowls, basically.
Oh, okay.
Some jowls hanging, but he was a pioneering trombonist, a New Orleans jazz musician, one of the originators of the old Dixieland Jazz Band. The original Dixieland Jazz Band. He was like the main trombone guy. He left New Orleans for Chicago. I guess he started playing better gigs, and that was kind of the way it went down there. Is if you were a jazz musician or anything like that, you'd start out in Mississippi and in New Orleans and places like that, and then you'd go to Chicago because that was where
all the big stuff.
That's where the money was. Yeah, you could make some money and play the big clubs.
It's a big city. Yeah,
exactly. So he did that. He did. He worked. It was in the French Quarter for over 50 years too. He'd perform there. He, I guess, helped write the music for Tiger Rag, which is a jazz classic in 1917. It's like a standard jazz.
Do I know that?
You probably know it if you heard it. It's one of those. The beats. I don't know if it's got words or whatever. Yeah. His New Orleans jazz band won national recognition, and at one time was the highest paid band going that existed in America. He spent most of his life in New York, playing at all the theaters there and that sort of thing. So that's why Ed's dad was born in New York, but lived in Rhode Island for a lot of time, and that's where they ended up in Rhode Island. Ed and his brother,
a little more affordable, spread out a little bit. Sure.
Yeah, and they had no musical talent. Also, it seems like.
Oh, that's a problem.
This is like. It's receding musical talent. Like it's as it goes, it's just kind of diluting. Like the original guy's, a legend, and then his dad, who Edward Branford Edwards Jr., was a civil servant for 30 years, worked for the Newport Underwater Systems Center, but also was a World War II radar man for 3 years in the Pacific Theater. And also a Rhode Island state representative and Portsmouth Town Council president.
There you go.
And he was also a member of the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers and the Songwriters Guild of America.
So he could write them, just couldn't play them or sing them.
Apparently not. He also was a 32nd degree Mason and a member of the Scottish Rite Valley of Providence. So
that's busy.
He's got a lot going on, that guy.
Yeah.
Now, Brad, we'll just give in and call him Brad. Fuck it. That's what I have written down. So Brad here, the son, that's where he comes from. Grandpa's a legend. You're named after him. Dad's a little less of a legend, but still a very well-known local guy. Very well connected. Now, Brad had been married twice before
before he started dating.
Before he started dating Jean. So he's married twice before, and they didn't go so well. His first marriage was to Suzanne Murray. His second marriage to Cynthia Edwards, who took his last name. The other one didn't.
Good practice runs.
He had no children with them, which is probably for the best.
Yeah, that's a great practice run.
That's for the best. Now, we'll give you a little bit about his background here, and then we will talk more about his marriages as this comes up in pertinence to the story. Now, he eventually told a psychiatrist that he drank heavily in his 20s and 30s. Brad did here. But that he never drank to the point of sickness or blackouts. He's got good tolerance, that's all. Drinking under the table.
Got to sickness?
Which sounds like a lie. He said he had concerns about his drinking in the past. This is a great fucking line to tell. Tell a therapist this, okay? I had some concerns about my drinking in the past, but then I thought about it, and no one else except my first wife ever seemed to be troubled by it. Only my wife told me I was an alcoholic. Everybody else was fine with it.
Only the very closest person to me told me there was a problem.
Who would be their responsibility to be honest with you and tell you that sort of thing? But, out with my friends, they didn't think I was an alcoholic. When we were drinking at the bar, they thought I was great.
The one person who's very clearly going to be annoyed by you if you're a problem.
Wow. He had previous suicidal thoughts. Once when he faced financial problems due to his second wife's embezzling from him. Okay.
Oh.
And another time after an argument with Jean that caused them to break up briefly. These are the two times he's had suicidal thoughts. Both times he thought of jumping off bridges. That was his way of going out. They asked him, well, how would you have killed yourself? He goes, jumping off the bridge. That was the way I was doing it.
That doesn't seem fast enough.
It seems terrifying. I would like the last moments of my life to be absolutely terrifying. Why would you do that? Takes, let's not give people ideas on how to kill themselves more efficiently, but that ain't the way to do it.
No, that seems also horrible because it doesn't work
No.
There's the GW in New York.
Oh.
The rumor is that when people jump off it, they hit the bed and it's just mud and your feet stick and then you drown.
I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds horrible.
That's what
I've heard that. That's the old
a bunch of times.
That's like the old wives' tale since we were little, but it might be true. We don't know.
I don't want to find out.
We don't know.
If I'm dead set on dying, that's not. I don't want to drown.
No, and I'm not jumping off.
Jumping off this.
I'm jumping off of nothing. I hate heights, so that's not the way I'm doing it. Number one, not working.
I don't want to do it either.
Now, at this point in the '90s, he's working as a truck salesman for Colony Ford. So think about the dilution of the gene pool here. Famous musician, civil servant, very important to the area. Asshole who sells trucks at the Ford dealership. That's the.
And when you only sell trucks, are you selling like fleet trucks, like the worst trucks?
Maybe. Who knows? That's possible. He's a truck salesman. Only trucks.
That would be a horrible job.
I only do F-150s, bub. I ain't doing nothing else.
I only do the standard bottom of the line truck, plastic interior.
That's all I do, babe. So I don't know what his deal is there, but if you're a car salesman, and take no offense to this car salesman, this is why you got the job. It's because you have no other skills.
Right.
So you're doing that. So anyone with a good rap of bullshit can sell cars, and you don't really need that. There's no college education for car salesmen. If you're full of shit enough, you can do it. So
and
any
now
salesman,
it's just
any sales.
Yeah, but car sales now is just numbers, because the first question is what payment you want to be at.
That's it. How do I get you to that payment?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. The whole thing is any salespeople, anybody who wants to sell someone something is a flawed person.
Yeah.
If you want to try to force things on it, I feel like you're flawed. I don't know what it is.
Unless
if you hate being a salesman, you're fine.
An unbelievable miracle product that
then you're not doing sales.
You're
that's the product sells itself, and you're just making it available.
When you have to be the vehicle that gets the sale done, that's fucked.
It's like Deadwood when he's saying, "I feel weird going out and pitching it," and Saul Starr tells him, we've got goods. These people need these goods. We have them available at a fair markup. There's nothing wrong. This isn't sales. This is just a filling a need.
Product sells itself.
That's different. Yeah, but if you have to sell it,
if you got to be the guy wandering tent to tent saying, the guy said there'd be a prize inside this soap. Fuck that guy.
Got this soap, won $5 out of it. Look at that. So Brad had a nearby apartment in Cranston where he lived by himself when he wasn't living with Jean. So he's there most of the time, though. Now,
so he's the one that's keeping a place.
Yes, that's what I mean. He's keeping a place. He's an interesting guy. Now, Saturday, March 8th, 1997, so a couple years before the 911 call, Jean and Brad are experiencing a particularly volatile time in their relationship here. They have an argument. Brad comes back to Jean's house after the argument. They had a big argument. She goes home. He goes home. Okay. He comes back to the house and breaks into the house through the locked breezeway door leading into the kitchen. Kicks the fucking door off the hinges.
Kicks the door off the hinges of the mudroom.
Not good. So Jean was home at the time, but it's not clear whether Brad knew that or not, whether she was home or not. She was terrified that he'd come back, so she called her friend Josie, with 2 E's, and we'll talk about her, that night to tell her how scared she was that Brad might come back and come after her. Yeah. Okay. She told Josie that she'd also call her father, Albert Gerard Sr., and, get her father to help too. So she talked to Josie the next day and said her father came over and stayed with her that night in case Brad came back.
Oh.
So you're obviously scared of this guy. If you call reinforcements in, that means you're scared.
Right.
He's scaring her at this point. So Albert Gerard Sr., her dad, said that he recalled this incident and he fixed the door, and he also advised Jean not to see Brad anymore.
It's probably for the best.
Let's go ahead and back off of Brad, why don't we here?
Don't make me do any more framing in this fucking house.
No. Now, he leaves some what he'll call apology messages after that.
Okay.
It's about a series of 10 phone calls where Brad repeatedly swears at Jean in very vulgar language, demeans her, hangs up, then calls back to do it again for 10 times.
Is this a New England thing? Because
That's apologies.
Karen Reed bitch do that shit too?
I think she called him to yell at him while he was dead in a front lawn.
A pervert while he's laying in a gutter.
You're a pervert. Yeah, so we won't get into the Karen Reed case there. Yeah, that's there's a lot of people that would despise Jimmy if he knew his vehemence against Karen Reed. She's got a lot of support, which is crazy because.
She doesn't.
No, she does not. Which Jimmy's got a lot of support, which is crazy. You should all hate him on our show that you listen to. No, they should like you. They should like us. Her. I don't care if she killed him or not. She seems horrible to me. She seems like a horrible person. And he was bad too. Those two together were a nightmare.
Volatile, yeah.
Anyway, he first basically yelling at her, saying he said, you said I was wrong about something, and yelling about that. Then she's yelling that she's not picking up the phone, cursing. Then he calls back saying he wants his clothes that are at the house, Okay. So he said also another message, he, quote, suggested, as the court document put it, that she go back to her old boyfriends. I like how the court documents, that's funny to me. He suggested she go back to her old boyfriends, which is, you fucking whore. Why don't you go fuck your old boyfriends, huh? Why don't you
go suck his cock?
Why don't you fuck Johnny with the big dick, huh? What's wrong with that? Yeah, the one that made your asshole hurt when he banged you there. Remember that? You told me about it, why you can't do it anymore back there because he ripped it all up? Yeah, why don't you talk to Johnny, huh?
Why don't you call the guy that you told me made your pussy sore?
That's the real fucking message that he's leaving. And he said there was no one in the world who could satisfy it. Not even Johnny can satisfy you. I'm telling you, this broad is all over the place.
Maybe go back to Johnny. He's the one that made you numb down there.
Even Johnny and his ass-wrecking hammer can't fucking do nothing with you. All right, fine. Oh, man. He also...
I'm sure these phone calls were amazing.
I wish we had the audio, honestly. So... He also, quote, suggested that's why her husband left her. It's more than a suggestion. Even your husband didn't want you because you're all worn out from Johnny and his big hammer.
At least the transcripts. God damn it.
Oh, man. He said he chided her over and over that everybody's wrong but you all the time, huh? Look at Gene, always right, and everybody else is wrong. All right.
These people that leave messages
amazing.
Like this,
why?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, because there was no frantic texting back then. That's why. This would have been a series of 700 text messages if this was now.
Yeah. Her phone constantly dinging and vibrating.
This was done on an actual piece of audio tape. A little tiny one.
This little mini.
Little tiny fuckers. He then said he then accused her of fooling around with other people. And you're a whore. You're a whore on top of it all.
He accused her.
Exactly.
That is funny. They have to filter it for legal purposes.
But if you read enough of them, you can you get the
you know what he said.
You get the euphemism of it. He accused her of fooling around with someone else. Who you fucking whore? That's what he said. He said he was sorry he fell in love with her in the first place.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Now, in all of these are lots of cursing. There's fucks and everything else, calling her a C-word and fucking and this and that, with him repeatedly calling Jean a, quote, son of a bitch or worse in every call.
Son of a bitch?
That's a weird thing to call your girlfriend, you son of a bitch. It's a very weird thing to call your girlfriend.
Don't you answer his phone, you son of a bitch? Oh, she's a gal.
And then she called him a crazy broad, and it went back and forth.
You crazy bitch.
Yeah. So the tape was super angry. He's very angry, very mean-spirited. Everyone is just meant to demean and to, attack her. And doesn't sound intoxicated, though, or in any way. Doesn't sound like he didn't, drink a bottle and was like, I'm going to fucking fix her. He didn't do that. Yeah. Now, March 11th, 1997, he writes Jean 2 letters of apology.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
you know,
do it in a written
the cycle
medium.
and all.
Yeah, exactly. In the first letter, postmarked March 11th, he apologized for what he'd said to her and blamed it on being drunk and out of his mind.
Oh.
I was hammered. You know how it is.
I went to the clam. What do you want?
What do you want? Yeah.
Oyster? What was it? Is it the clam?
The clam. The clam, yeah. The clam there. Yeah. So, yeah, me and Quagmire and fucking Cleveland tied a few
Yeah,
on there.
we were tying it on.
Yeah. So he apologized for what he had put her through over the preceding couple of weeks and for the fact that he failed to trust her and he should have trusted her. And he offered to pay for the damage to her door that he caused as well.
That's nice.
And
Bledsoe's playing like shit right now.
yeah,
you gotta
that's,
understand.
I can't do it. They might get another guy in a couple years, but I can't tell for right now.
We need to save you.
We need to save you. I'll tell you what. I've been watching Michigan football, hoping for one. Maybe it'll pop out. So he said he wanted to get his clothes back also. He keeps reiterating that. He said he didn't know if she would ever speak to him again, but that it was, quote, real nice knowing her while she did.
You son of a bitch.
He then said that she was so good to him. When she wasn't fooling around with Johnny and his big hammer.
Keeping my good pea coat in your closet.
Oh, man, I need it. It's getting winter. It's getting winter out. What are you talking about? So, March 14th, 1997, a couple days later, there's a second letter of apology, postmarked the 14th, that said he was so sorry for what he did to her. He said that he knew she left Jack, her other husband, close to Johnny, for hollering and fighting. And then he turned around and did the same thing, probably even worse than he did. Probably worse. I don't know about if Jack ever kicked her door in or not, so probably.
Or called her a son of a bitch.
Called her a son of a bitch. He told her he would always loved her. He'll always love her and always has loved her and wished that things could have been different. He enclosed
this is terrible.
He enclosed a $100 check to pay for the damage he did to the door there.
I forgot about the damage.
He wrote, thanks for the memories in fucking the memo section.
I miss you so much. Here's $100.
Here's $100. I don't know. He thanked her for putting his clothes out in the hallway so he could get them.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. He said he got a message from Diane, we'll get into all that they were out, but that they had not gotten around to picking them up yet. So he got a message from someone he knows that they were out, but he didn't get them, but thanks for putting them out for him, basically. He wrote, quote, "You don't have to be afraid of me because I would never lay a hand on you." Okay. That's his quote. He told her he guessed that the worst of him came out when he drank. He said, that's probably what happened. He said he didn't mean the things on her answering machine.
Right.
I was hurt.
Yeah.
I drink. I'm from New England. That's how we operate.
It's still, the abuse is so crazy.
We drink, we call you a cunt, and we move on. That's how it works in Rhode Island.
We go to confessional on Sunday, and we figure it out.
We figure it all out. Father told me this. He acknowledged that Jean had told Diane to tell him that it was over between the two of them and that she didn't want to see him again, but that he said that he still would like to talk to her. Look, I know you said you don't want to talk to me, but I'd love to just get this worked out between us. He pleaded with her.
You don't have to talk. I'll talk.
I'll do all the talking. You can just listen. He pleaded with her, please call me. And then, again, thanked her for all the good times.
Yeah.
Somehow, in this mix, they ended up back together.
Wow.
They end up back together somehow. Don't know how.
Sometimes a gal or a guy, they just want attention, and sometimes that attention is apologies.
And some people like chaos.
Yeah.
They need it. They thrive on it. If it's not there, they're bored. And that's that they can't help it. It's not a character flaw. It's just how they were raised and they can't help it.
He yells at me, but he doesn't hit me.
He doesn't hit me. Yeah.
He calls me a son of a bitch. I call him a salty little clam.
Look at Love After Lockup. Perfect example. There's a little plug for Patreon, but Love After Lockup. Look at Brooke and JK.
Yeah.
She needs chaos. She needs him to be mean to her, and she found the perfect asshole to feed into all of her shit because he's an asshole. When that thing in the car, when they're fighting outside the car, she's going ranting and raving until he shoves her. Then she's then she is on board 100%. And it's like, what is happening with you two? You two are toxic.
But they gaslight each other.
Yeah.
The amount of gaslighting is so. If you don't understand that phrase, watch that show. That's what it is.
That's what it is. It actually is. We'll talk about that more
Creating
on the Patreon.
Fights
people
for
need
no reason other than to have the fight.
And they can tell, they can find those people across a fucking crowded room. They could tell the person that's going to give them the chaos they need or whatever. So late 1998, by the time we get to that, Gene and Brad are now engaged.
Get the fuck out of here.
We went from, please, can I just have my clothes back, to we're getting married. Everything's great.
Take my name.
Take my name. So he gave her over a $9,000 diamond ring, which in 1999 is a massively expensive diamond ring.
That's a third of your salary.
That's a lot. Yeah, that is more than 2 months' salary, or else he's doing real well selling trucks down there at the Ford dealership. They didn't have plans. They didn't have a wedding date set. But they didn't want to set a date because Gene's daughter, Gendra,
all right,
Kendra with a J, was set to be married on September 18th, 1999. So Gene was helping her out with wedding plans for the next year. The whole next year is going to be just this wedding. And you don't want to steal their thunder, basically.
No,
so you wait till afterwards.
Yours, right.
That's it. So June of 1999, here, we'll fast forward. Gene gets Brad to see Dr. Severetti, a Dr. Lyons, a Dr. Medwin, and a Dr. Fixman about his temper. That is 4 psychiatrists.
She found a Dr. Fixman?
Fixman. Thank you for noticing that. Because I was like, Dr. Fixman is amazing. I'm going to fix you, man.
That's the best therapist name of all time.
It absolutely. When I was
going to the Fixman,
I was putting that in there. I'm like, Dr. Fixman. God, if you were looking through doctors, I'd be like, that's the guy I would pick. If you're all these different names, I would.
Why would I go to anybody else?
I'd go to Fixman first. That should be a slogan, by the way. Try Fixman first. I'll fix you, man. So it was about the time he sees Dr. Severetti in June 1999. That's when he says he stopped drinking. The doctor convinced him that would be good for him, this psychiatrist, to quit drinking.
The other 3 didn't say a word about it?
No, Dr. Fixman's like, can I pour you one? He's like, this is the wrong doctor. So August.
The fix is booze.
Yeah, I could fix you up real good. August 1999, they had another conversation about his temper. And Gene gave him the ring back. So now they're not engaged anymore. Okay?
Oh.
As a result of that, that's when he went to see Dr. Fixman. So he didn't go to Fixman first. He went to Fixman like second.
Fix this, man.
When he was confronted with a note that Dr. Fixman wrote in the summer of 1999 that he, quote, gets angry easily and kicked doors in again. So that's not, he did that again.
Fuck.
He denies that he kicked the door in more than once. Later on, we'll talk about.
I only did it once?
Once, even though he told the doctor, and the doctor put in his notes more than once. The note also said that he, quote, hit the screen again, but he said that it was a different time than kicking the door, and that was after they'd been dating for quite a while. Okay. So there's a different thing. He said that they'd been arguing and he'd been drinking, and he said they argued frequently. When asked by the doctor what they argued about, he said, well, Gene goes to the casino with Josie and they don't take me with them.
She does girls' nights and he gets upset about it?
She hangs out with a friend. How dare she hang out with her friend? I was like, okay, and then what? Where, in
what's
Vegas?
The part that got you mad?
Yeah, in Vegas or Foxwoods? What are we talking about here?
Right.
So he said he would always call her a few times a night when she was away from him having fun. He denied it was.
Why?
Why? Yeah, you got a quiet night. What the fuck are you calling for?
Oh, my God.
So he denied it was to check on her. He just had stuff to tell her all the time. Yeah. He also said they argued about her children because Gene said that he had to accept them along with her. And he admitted he didn't want to accept them because, quote, they weren't my kids.
I'm not in love with them.
I don't know these kids. I don't care about these kids. When asked what else they would argue about other than kids in the casino, he said, well, there was an argument before her daughter got married about her taking medication. He said that she did not want to take the medication so she could enjoy the wedding, but was adamant that it was not an excuse because she needed her medication. So he's saying she had to take her medication. I was trying to get her to take it, and she said, I don't want to take it because it'll make her enjoy the wedding less. Oh, she probably couldn't drink with her medication, I bet.
Right.
That's it. When asked again what they argued about, he said, no, that was about it. So nothing is what you argue about. except you're
This
a drunk.
is the easiest relationship.
Stop drinking. Next. Let's go. Hey, fixed man. All right, look at me.
You're the problem, bud.
That's it. So he then said, okay, fine. Yeah, we also argue about my temper too. So I got a bit of a temper. So here's his full mental history. All right, here we go. Wow. Now, that's going to be later. Okay. So apparently wow. His mental health records indicate he started seeing a therapist for anxiety and depression in the fall of 98. So that's before the June 99 when Jean made him go, before he got engaged to Jean. He was treated by the Dr. Severetti in September 1998 for depression with anxiety and was prescribed Paxil and Xanax at that point. So that's a calm it on down now cocktail. That's a
calm it down and a happy pill.
Let's take you from a 9 to a very content 2. Yeah. What do you say? We're going to be real calm now.
When Paxil isn't enough, you got to couple it with also
anti-anxiety medication of Xanax.
Oh boy.
Yeah. In October 98, the doctor indicated that Brad said he felt much better and that there was room for much improvement. So they increased the dosage of the Paxil and continued to prescribe lorazepam.
Yeah.
Now, November 1998, Brad indicated to the doctor that the Paxil had adversely affected his sex life because a lot of those SSRIs will make your dick not work. So that then the doctor, and this is what they would do back then, they'd add Wellbutrin to it to make your dick work. And he said the Wellbutrin wasn't helping. So they try to find the right combination that makes you not want to kill yourself and also have your dick work, which is sometimes
it takes 6 hours.
Yeah, you never know. So that's what he said. And he said he was advised to continue the Wellbutrin and Xanax, drop the Paxil, and add Elavil into the mix.
What is that?
That one I don't know a lot about.
I've never heard of it.
The other ones I know a ton about from listening to Loveline in the late 90s, because this is the exact time Dr. Drew was telling these people all about these. So I know all about, add this, take that away, try this one. This one doesn't cause fucking sexual side effects from back then. So in December 98, he tells Dr. Severetti that the Elavil made him feel, quote, dopey and dizzy. So he only took it for a few days, and that Xanax alone was not controlling his anxiety.
Really?
Yes. So now the doctor discontinues the Xanax and Elavil and says, here's some Wellbutrin, Remeron, which is another one that is supposed to not cause sexual side effects, and Klonopin.
God.
So we'll replace the Xanax with Klonopin, and we'll mix the Remeron and Wellbutrin instead of the Paxil and Wellbutrin and see if that combination makes your dick work and you won't have anxiety. So this is a lot.
This is why mental health in this country is so fucked up, because we're all so different.
Yes.
And the time that it takes to balance and find what the chemicals are that get you to a baseline, it takes so much time. Listen to that. The amount of time. Yeah. You got to come off one to be put on another.
Yes.
And it takes a while for that one to start working.
It depends, because some of them are short acting and some of them are more of a long acting and they take longer. But some of them are out of your system pretty quick. Depends on the drug. But it could be complicated.
To get the cycle right, it's so hard.
Talk to any woman who's been on birth control pills for 20 years.
Right.
She's probably taken 8 different ones before they found the one that worked right, didn't make them this way, that way, periods weren't weird. They have to figure it out. So
she may have had to skip a pill and get some other thing, some IUD.
IUD.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mix that up with IED all the time.
I mix it up with IOU, which it prevents. It prevents IOUs, and that's good.
Yeah.
So he advised Brad to continue therapy with a psychologist and to keep his appointment with a psychiatrist, Dr. Susan DeMasi, which he said he had scheduled for January of 1999. Now, the Dr. Severetti's office notes indicate that Brad canceled his appointment for January 6th, 1999, per his fiancée, and did not want to reschedule. So Jean called and canceled, and they didn't reschedule. Later in January, he told Dr. Severetti that when he saw Dr. DeMasi, that he did see Dr. DeMasi, and that she had stopped all the medications and put him on Cerazone, which is another one of the SSRIs that's not, I don't know if it's one of those antidepressants that's not supposed to make your dick soft, which he said seemed to be working.
Great.
He said he didn't want to go back to Dr. DeMasi because the office would not give him a refill and would not call him back. So Dr. Savaretti prescribed Cerazone, and there you go. So he's got the Cerazone. Now, he saw Dr. Savaretti again February 1999, had no complaints. He was continued on Cerazone for depression and anxiety. He missed his March 1999 appointment. Around the same time that he failed to show up for the March 1999 appointment with Dr. Savaretti, he went to see a psychotherapist, Dr. David Lyon.
Yeah.
Now, Lyon's notes reveal that Gene had strongly encouraged him to seek therapy to manage his anger.
Okay.
So he's in a mess here. I don't know how the fuck all these drugs don't manage your anger.
Yeah, I mean,
especially if you've Xanax and Klonopin and all this shit. How do you get angry when you're on Klonopin? You're just
but if you've got a short temper in the first place and you get frustrated easily,
and
the
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, and the size of the dosage too matters, and if it's not enough, and the frustration level comes up,
I guess,
and then he's just got a short temper in the first place. The rage is just going to go nuts.
I've never been on. I hate pills. Like I don't take any.
They're horrible.
Like, I don't like anything. If I take a pill, it makes me feel. I had my wisdom teeth pulled. I took the codeine for like fucking a minute, and I was like, this works for shit, and I didn't take it anymore. It was awful. Doesn't work. Don't like it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. So Dr. Lyon held a joint session with Gene and Brad, at which it was determined that Brad's loud and intense behavior displayed at the session is the thing. During the session, he was loud, which is actually good because the doctor got to actually see what goes on.
Right. Yeah.
So Dr. Lyon decided he basically diagnosed the relationship with him as the problem. So, well, I've sat here for an hour and you're the one yelling and screaming for no reason. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say you're the asshole. Just to, hey.
I'm going to say this is a toxic relationship, and the toxic part is you.
Every
relationship you're going to be in is going to be like this.
Fuck yeah. Now, he denied any alcohol dependency, and none was diagnosed by Dr. Lyon. He saw Dr. Lyon for 5 sessions between March and May 99, including the one joint session with Gene. Now, he commented, Brad did, that the behavioral management strategies, anger management strategies that Dr. Lyon taught him were working. And in June 99, he saw Dr. Savaretti again and reported increased anxiety. At his request, Dr. Savaretti increased his Cerazone. He never returned to Dr. Lyon, and he missed his scheduled appointment with him for mid-July. On July 21st, 1999, though, rather than seeing Dr. Lyon, he saw Dr. Joel Medwin. I have not been to this many doctors in my life, by the way. Literally, in my entire life, I haven't been to this many doctors.
And this many psychological doctors.
Mental health professionals,
good on him for trying this hard.
I mean, at least he's,
but
just saying,
this
wow.
many is a flag that you can't, you can't find one of these that gives you any guidance?
No, I think they tell him he's a problem, and then he finds somebody else.
And he's frustrated by that.
That's what it seems like, Right. This Dr. Medwin talked to him about his conflicts with Jean and the stress from her children. He said he didn't like to be alone on weekends. He said he had a history of drug treatment for anxiety and was currently taking Cerazone. Dr. Medwin referred him to Dr. Laura Fixman, a psychiatrist. Now we're getting with the Fixman.
Fixman is a lady.
Fixman is a lady, absolutely. On July 22nd, 1999, the following day, he returned to Dr. Medwin for an urgent visit. He went back the next day, connected with an alleged exacerbation of anxiety. Brad was anxious for a psychological evaluation that had been scheduled for July 28th, so he's anxious about something 6 days from now. Dr. Medwin urged him to call his primary care physician, Dr. Savaretti, to get temporary medication, but Brad refused, saying that Savaretti had already prescribed several medications with no benefit. Brad presented as very angry and anxious. Okay. The following day, he went to see Dr. Savaretti and told him that he'd been very anxious and depressed for the past several weeks. Now, for the first time, Dr. Savaretti not only diagnoses him with anxiety and depression, but also panic and anger. So, which it doesn't take a doctor to diagnose anger. I can tell you whether you're angry or not.
Yeah.
And I'm an idiot.
Panic is pretty easy, too.
Yeah. How do you feel? That sounds panicky to me. Fuck, I don't know. So
Does everything feel like it's urgent? Uh-oh.
Oh, that's panic. Dr. Severetti advised him to take his prescribed amount of Cerazone as he was supposed to be taking it and added Elavil and Klonopin. He told him to keep his scheduled appointment with Dr. Fixman. Dr. Severetti prescribed the Klonopin at a dosage of 1 to 2 tablets of 0.5 milligrams twice a day as needed for anxiety. He filled the prescription that day for 60 tablets.
Okay, that's a good size.
That's not bad. July 23rd, 99, Brad saw Dr. Fixman, the psychiatrist, for the first time and told her that he was taking Klonopin and Cerazone. She reported that although he reported that his mind was racing and that he was apprehensive, there was no clear stressor and he was not depressed. So Cerazone must be working.
No clear stressor. It's just something internal.
It's a roiling fucking hellscape in there. Just it's bad. It's like he fucking ate a gallon of chili and had a pony keg of beer and just fucking together.
It's just going.
It's just causing a swirl right now.
Wow.
He again talked about an up and down relationship with his fiance, said it was too stormy for them to even set a wedding date. He said he didn't like to spend weekends alone, and he says he gets angry easily and kicked in the door again while he was drinking. So that's another doctor he admitted that to. He called Gene's children leeches. That's great. And
it's generally what they are, yeah.
Yeah, little... What was it, juvenile encumbrances? With the one show called them. And
they're little cash suckers. That's what they are.
Oh, yeah. And said that Gene was more financially involved with them than he would like her to be. So she gives her own kids money from her own money that she makes.
Yeah.
Whose business is that? None of yours, dickhead.
She takes care of her children. And it's very upsetting.
I have 2 kids. If I want to give them money, I'll give them fucking money. You know? Because they're my kids. He said he hit the screen again after 3 drinks and that he kicked the door in once when drunk.
Okay.
He said he drank socially 3 to 4 times per week and that his last drink he last drank 3 drinks about 2 days ago. He said he drank as much as 4 drinks on weekend nights, which means 10.
Yeah,
I would say. Dr. Fixman noted that he had a generalized anxiety disorder and that she wanted to rule out alcohol abuse. She noted that he spoke about temper problems with alcohol and thought he might be minimizing his alcohol use. She has the same thought we do. She continued him on Klonopin and Cerazone and wanted to consider prescribing Remeron or Buspar instead of Cerazone. Buspar, is that how you say that? Buspar? Buspar, I think.
I don't know.
She advised him not to drink because you can't really make a diagnosis on someone when they're in the midst of a substance because that's going to cloud everything. You don't know what's actually in there.
Well, also if he's on antidepressants and he's drinking that's not good.
No, it's not good either. July 28th, 99, he saw Dr. Medwin and told him that he was feeling calmer, but that he was concerned about feeling drugged. Didn't like to feel that way.
Right.
He was hopeful.
That is a terrible feeling.
No one wants to feel all doped out. He was hopeful he could balance the extremes and rebuild the relationship with his girlfriend. He's like, I'd like to get, set. And, yeah. The same day he saw Dr. Fixman again. He has no time to sell trucks. He is at the shrink every day.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
He sees Dr. Fixman again and could not walk straight and appeared drugged, is what the doctor noted. Dr. Medwin made no such notations when he was in that person's office right before that. He told Dr. Fixman he'd been weaving Friday night and was sleepy all weekend. Weaving, like on the road, maybe?
Yeah.
That's all I could think of. Or he was
making
just
rugs?
sitting down. Yes,
Baskets?
I'm doing the fucking whatever this is with the fucking sticks. I don't know. He said he was in a deep hole. He said he'd been taking his Klonopin and Cerazone and that he had no alcohol. He insisted that he'd been taking the Cerazone for 10 months. She decreased his Cerazone and Klonopin.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, what a fucking mess. This is a lot, man. I'm telling you.
It's just a lot of medications and it's a lot of balancing, and it takes time, and you've got to have patience. And when you're in a panic episode, patience is the last thing you have a lot of.
Very little. August 4th, 99, he sees Dr. Medwin. By the way, you're like, why are we going through this? Trust me, this is all going to matter in a minute here. Sees Dr. Medwin again and reported stability with no significant verbal aggressiveness. That's nice. Your patient didn't yell at you today.
It's working.
And scream at you, and decreased anxiety. That same day, he saw Dr. Fixman and reported that he'd taken the Sarazone for 4 or 5 days, but it was no good. I got a bum batch. It's a hot load here. I don't like it. He said that he'd not taken any Klonopin over the past 2 days since he got a head buzz the day before, as he described it, and he consumed no alcohol. He said he now felt tense. She discontinued the Sarazone, prescribed Buspar 15 milligrams 2 times per day, and suggested Klonopin 1 to 3 tablets of 0.5 milligrams per day as needed. She wrote him a script for the Buspar 60 tablets, 1 refill. He filled the prescription that day. August 6th, Brad sees Dr. Severetti and reports that he was feeling much better. He said he had seen Dr. Fixman and that she had changed his medications, and the Dr. Severetti advised him to continue the Buspar at the dosage of 15 milligrams twice a day and to take Klonopin 2 times a day as needed per Dr. Fixman. He noted that Brad was no longer taking Sarazone or Elavil. In his weekly appointments with Dr. Medwin during the balance of August of 1999, he reported that he was more stable, less anxious, and pleased by his progress. So he said he's so pleased because not only does he feel better, his relationship with Jean has improved a lot, because he hasn't kicked in any doors recently or,
insulted her children to their faces.
Fucking raged at her while in a drunken haze here. So he said he's feeling much better. He said during his appointment with Dr. Fixman on August 18th, he said he was taking Buspar 2 times a day and Klonopin and was calmer with no flare-ups. He occasionally got a fuzzy feeling in his head and felt better if he ate with the medication. Okay. He thought the medications were working, and his girlfriend was seeing him as being a lot calmer now. Okay. Now, in September, we don't have any records of any medical visits in September. So this all ends in August. It's unclear whether he had any appointments scheduled or any canceled them or whatever here. We don't know. Now, we know he filled his prescriptions, too. He filled his prescriptions at CVS Pharmacy on Atwood Avenue in Cranston, Rhode Island. His prescription records show that he filled prescriptions for Sarazone, Zestril, which is a blood pressure medication, on a monthly basis in 1999. He filled his last prescription for Sarazone on July 18th, 120 tablets, as prescribed by Dr. Severetti. Then Dr. Fixman advised him to discontinue that in August. The records also show that he filled his first prescription for Buspar, 30 tablets, on August 4th, and renewed it 30 more tablets on August 19th. So if he took it as prescribed, he would have been out of it by mid-September, and that becomes important. He filled his first prescription for Klonopin on July 23rd, 1999, 60 tablets. He renewed the prescription on August 13th for another 60 tablets. Pharmacy records for that renewal carry a dosage of 1 to 2 tablets twice a day as needed. At the rate of 2 tablets per day, he should have been out of the Klonopin by mid-September as well, because he didn't get any more. So he should have no drugs by mid-September. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
if he took it as he was supposed to. Now, last week of August, this is 3 weeks until the big wedding day for Jean's daughter. So there's a big flare up now in the relationship between Jean and Brad. Jean discovers now, right now, while they're about to, plan a wedding, that Brad has been married twice before. He never told her that he was married twice before, ever.
What?
How does that not come up on the first fucking day you meet unless he lied about it, but that's why would you lie about that?
He must have said, I've never been married before, huh?
Had to have been, because she asked, because she's been married. She said, you ever been married before? I'm sure he didn't say, oh, what's that over there? And then they never came up again. I'm sure they, you know what I mean? I'm sure they probably discussed it.
Every time she brings it up, a mariachi band comes in.
Yeah. It's 1999. She brings it up. He's like, hey, that Britney Spears is really tearing it up, isn't she? Like, he just changes the subject.
I heard she did it again.
I think she did. So that's what's going on. She didn't know that. And she also didn't know, and this part is probably the part that really got her. First of all, I don't know why you would lie about that. He probably just thought he could get away with it because he didn't have any kids. So he
Well, if you don't have any kids and you've been married twice and they were both failures, perhaps he feels some shame about it.
That's possible, too. Well, there's something he should have felt shame about that he didn't tell her about. Not only was he married twice, for the first year of their relationship, he was still legally married to the second wife. They weren't divorced until late 1997.
Wow.
Which is well into their relationship.
He didn't tell her about court dates and paperwork filings?
Nothing. She said she felt deceived by him and told him, I don't want to see you anymore. You're a fucking liar.
Right.
She didn't even know he had a first wife. And he's, you were still married while we were going out? Oh, that's not even, you should hear about the first wife. Speaking of the first.
That was my second marriage.
That was my second. Speaking of his previous marriages, let's find out how they ended, shall we?
Oh, I can imagine.
Okay. He said his first marriage dissolved due to irreconcilable differences. That's his quote.
Yeah. He wanted to yell. She didn't want him to.
Pretty much. This is the one where everybody thinks I'm fine. My drinking's fine except for my wife. Yeah. He said his first wife, quote, could not get along with my drinking. Like it's the third person in the room. There's me, my wife, and my drinking. That's who we're all hanging out tonight.
My throuple ended because of my...
Wow. He said that drinking would make him behave erratically and out of control and angrily, and he said that his second marriage lasted for 18 years because he was drinking a lot less. His first marriage was pretty quick. Yeah. Second marriage lasted a long fucking time, from like his early 20s.
Kids in 18 years.
Yeah, until his early 40s, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's weird. When asked later if he hit his first wife ever, he said he, quote, gave her a backhand.
Oh, boy.
That means yes.
Is the answer. Yeah.
Horribly is what that means. He denied choking her, and when asked if he, quote, drove her to a bridge, threatening to throw her off of it, he said he couldn't recall that, but he wouldn't deny it. Sounds like something I'd do. That sounds like me.
So he said that he's never blacked out before.
No.
Nor gotten to a place where he got sick. So how do you have an event like that where you drive a woman to a bridge and not remember it?
I was doing so much at that point in time. I don't know. I had work that day and, was busy at the office and Christmas was coming up.
Pats made a playoffs run.
It's a Pats were in the playoffs. The Sox were good that year. What am I supposed to do? So
we had Mo Vaughn. What do you want?
What do you want? Guy's hitting .330. Lost that batting title to Bernie Williams. It drove us all crazy. So
his rotator cuff and he's
out. He denied choking her, but he did do that. And he said, I can't deny that it happened, though. Sounds like me. When pressed as to whether he was now saying he didn't recall driving her to the bridge, he said, quote, I'm not sure what I'm saying now. I go, let's get that straight. Hold on. I'm not sure what I'm saying here. He denied.
I don't know what I did. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, he denied that she was, quote, really injured in their fight, though. This is his first wife. He admitted taking her to the hospital, but would not concede that she was so injured that she had to go there. She's just real bored and wanted to stop by the hospital for a while, see what they had down in the cafeteria. What the fuck are you talking about? If she's not hurt, she would have said, I don't need to go to the hospital, I assume.
It hurts what you did to me. Oh, we'll go to the fucking hospital.
The hospital, she's got to go. Got to see a doctor. Yeah. He admitted calling her a, quote, lying son of a bitch. Such a weird way.
That's his thing.
That's what he calls women. When he spoke about her to psychiatrists, but he denied it was a term he used frequently. He was just letting it out.
This is the second woman I've heard.
Exactly. That's why I put that there, because it's like, what are you talking about, dude? That's what he says about his first marriage. A backhand, maybe. I don't know. Let's find out what Suzanne, his first wife, has to say about his first marriage, because we have plenty of her input here. Yeah. She talked about an incident on their wedding day, which those two were incident and wedding day shouldn't go together, when he, after only a few drinks, got intensely angry at her and drove erratically when she told him that she'd forgotten her house key.
Oh, boy.
She testified later that in another incident that caused her to move back in with her parents for the first time.
Oh, my God.
He didn't like a meal she made.
Yep.
Any ending to this is crazy, by the way. Anybody who makes you a meal, be thrilled with it. Who cares? They did it.
Shut the fuck up.
Who cares if
eat
it sucks?
Yeah.
You didn't have to make it, so be happy they were nice enough to make it for you. He flung a plate against the wall.
He did that.
He did that move. If you're writing a movie and you're like, all right, there's a guy and he's kind of like domestically abusive and he's this and that, you'd be like, he throws the plate. You go, that's too much. You'd say that's
too tropey. Yeah.
It's tropey. It's over the top. Nobody would actually do it. There's like spaghetti clung to the wall and falling off of it. No one would do that. This is the guy who does that. So, he flung a plate against the wall, was verbally irate, and then shoved and slapped her. And she said,
food.
Over a meal he didn't like. There wasn't glass in it.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't poisoned.
Yeah. You didn't order and have to pay for this.
Yeah, she made a meal, and he didn't like it. She said that he wasn't drinking at all that day.
That's a sober guy.
This is natural. He needs a drink, maybe. Suzanne next said that another violent episode when he had not been drinking, he was intensely angry because her carpool ride was late and he had to wait for her.
What, to lock the door? What?
I guess ride to the carpool. And he had to wait for her at a carpool place. Sat to wait for her because
ride or some shit.
The ride was late in a car she wasn't driving, by the way. After he picked her up, he peeled out of the driveway and hit her with his fist and his arm in her chest. So he started punching her in the car because the person, whoever from the office, got off 10 minutes late. This incident prompted her to move back in for the second time with her parents. Yeah. She said that Brad frequently hit her when he was not drinking. If she cried, that would make him more angry because he was afraid people would hear her. Here's a solution. Don't hit her. Guess what? There you go.
Yeah, she won't cry loud enough for people to hear her.
And and then this is all, by the way, in the first year of marriage. The marriage didn't last a whole year. It was under a year.
Wow.
Then finally she describes the incident that made her leave for good.
Yeah.
Those things weren't enough. He was very drunk and got jealous when they were in a restaurant, okay? A man she knew came over to their table to congratulate her on their marriage. Not to say, I heard your ass is looking good lately. I heard you got married. This must be the lucky guy. Congratulations, you guys.
Wow.
He got jealous about that.
Now he's got questions. Did you fuck that guy? All that stuff.
All
Who
of
cares?
Who cares? It was just that this guy wanted to come talk to her. To talk about you fucking idiot. That's the problem. He swore at her, called her a son of a bitch. That's his line. And made her leave the restaurant. Oh, my God. On the ride home, he insisted on driving even though he was very drunk and she was sober.
And drove like an asshole.
Of course. She asked him to let her drive or let her out. He refused and sped off. She opened the car door to get out at one point. He did, of course, this is for her safety, obviously, to guide her back into the car. All he could get a hold of was her hair. He pulled her back inside by her hair. Swore at her and punched her in the face before she managed to get the door open. Wow. Again, he slammed the door, slammed her wrist in the door. She was trying to get out, and then choked her until she couldn't breathe. This is because a man said, congratulations, you two. Yeah. This is a fucking lunatic.
This event, he's drinking.
Yeah.
But he's done a lower version of this as a sober man.
He's hitting her, so it doesn't matter. Like he's just an asshole.
What the fuck happened?
The alcohol may make him 2 minutes quicker to the fuse. Is all it is.
Why is he like this?
She went limp and pretended to be dead because she thought he would kill her otherwise. He kept trying to wake her up, and then he said, "Quote." This is what he heard her say. This is terrifying. Okay, quote. Because she just pretended to be dead. Oh my God, I've killed her. Do you think he would sob or oh my God? He said, now what am I going to do with the body? That's what he said. He was going to dump her in a fucking ditch somewhere or bury her in a field. Now what am I going to do with the body? Not Not even a name. She is the body in 2 seconds.
Imagine you're playing dead and then you hear a circular saw.
Yeah. Holy shit. That's almost as bad as hearing your family pick out a coffin. We'll take the one with the satin lining. Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm alive, assholes. It's just as scary.
Shit. What am I going to do with the body?
What am I going to do with the body? He drove to the top of the Mount Hope Bridge. Mm-hmm. I think we know what he was going to do with her body.
Yeah.
At which point she opened her eyes.
Yeah.
And he said he was relieved she was okay and told her he would take care of her. So he drove her to the hospital and said that he didn't mean to hurt her and that he just loved her so much.
I love so hard.
I love so hard that I was going to throw your body off a bridge. Wow. She filed for divorce.
Yeah.
But he still pursued her. She warned his second wife about his drinking problem and violence while drinking, but did not talk about his violence when he was sober. To this woman, just said, watch out, when he drinks, he's going to beat the fuck out of you. I'm like,
stay off the Mount Hope Bridge.
I'm sure it was at a bar somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, you marrying him? Watch out when he drinks, he'll give you the back of his hand. Now back to the present timeline here. Okay. Brad is very upset about her breaking up with him now. Jean broke up with him in August. So he leaves repeated messages about wanting to get his things from her house. Very worried about his things. His reaction made Jean fear for her life. She was just scared of him. Yeah. Now, she doesn't know about all the history with the first two wives because she didn't even know he was fucking married until this incident. So Jean called her sister, Patricia McGowan, and crying told her that she was afraid to go to bed that night. In speaking to her sister, Jean made reference to the prior incident in March of 97 when he broke into the house. So she's like, I'm scared. She says, quote, Patty, if anything happens to me, Brad did it.
Oh.
Okay. Now, Patty advises Jean, why don't you call the police and try to get a restraining order? But Jean said, don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. She suggested, why don't you leave the house and tell Brad he can come get his things and you're not there. Jean said she was afraid to do anything, including leaving the home. She didn't even want to leave the house. He might be in the yard. I don't know. So later, Jean had told Patty that she had talked to Brad and that he had agreed to get help for himself. But this is August. He's been getting help. How many doctors has he been to? He's had 47 doctor's appointments in the last 8 months. So that's interesting. Now, Brad, during this time, Brad is trying to get Jean back and trying to get any people on his side that he can. He calls Jean's father, the guy who came over to stay with her when he kicked the door in 2 years ago, to enlist in his help in getting Jean back.
Yeah.
Now, if you're the father, you'd be like, I've been waiting for her to leave you for fucking years. I'm not helping you with shit.
Stay the fuck away from my daughter.
Yeah, but instead, he talks him into it kind of here. Brad explains to Mr. Gerard that we broke up. Jean had a right to be upset. He's not like, your daughter's a bitch. He said, she's not a son of a bitch.
Right.
Jean he said, I didn't tell her about my first marriage because I really loved her, and I didn't want her to think I was a loser because I couldn't make a marriage work.
He's got shame.
He's got shame. Yep. So Brad said he was afraid now that he's not even going to get invited. He's not going to be able to go to Jean's daughter's wedding. That leech. I want to go to her wedding so I can leech a dried out chicken breast off of her at least. Some fucking hors d'oeuvres maybe. Some well drinks.
He's got to feel like a failure in everything in his life, being that his grandfather was so successful. His dad was pretty successful in everything he did.
This guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, and then he is a fucking truck salesman.
Yep. His father and grandfather were well known all around. He's only well known in the medical community around here. That's it.
Yeah.
In the psychiatric community, he's well known. Other than that, nobody knows who the fuck he is. Or if you drive an F-150, you're also. So Brad explained all that, and he said he was afraid that he's not going to get invited to the wedding now. So Mr. Gerard, Jean's dad, then goes to Jean and counsels Jean, you should give Brad a chance and invite him to the wedding.
What?
Okay. Now, Brad, who wanted so desperately to go to the wedding, is very pissed off that he has to go to the wedding now. He gets him. This guy's an asshole, man. They said, okay. He said he was super pissed off because he's going to have to be in the company of Jean's ex-husband, Wayne.
So,
and Wayne's family,
it's his kids.
because it's his daughter getting married and all.
He is the father of the bride.
Yep. Brad was jealous of the close relationship that Jean still maintained with them because they weren't at each other's throats. They were just normally just cordial. Yeah. I'm cordial with my ex-wife, and I talk to her mom when I go over there. I'm friends with her family. Her brother was just at my house. You know what I mean? Like,
so lovely.
It's fine. Brad, Brad tells Gendra, the daughter, that he would not attend the wedding if he had to be photographed with that bastard Wayne Robinson. You know, your dad. If I have to take a picture with your dad, then I'm not coming.
The good news is you don't have to take any fucking pictures. You're
not involved in the family.
Right.
No, the family pictures are going to be the daughter and her mom and dad, which you're not involved in. You're not even a stepdad. You're the guy the mom started going out with while she was already an adult. That's it.
You're the guy my mom's going out with and barely, maybe not soon.
Yeah, you're not even really together right now.
No.
This is a new chance just to go to the wedding. That's the chance you're getting. So anyway, later, Brad sent Gendra a letter to apologize for being so immature about that and reassuring her, look, I really love you and your mother and your whole family, and I was just having a day, basically.
I'm sure you're having a lot of emotions about the biggest day of your life, and
I'm planning for a full year.
I threw a bunch of shit on top of it because I'm an insecure
schmuck.
Piece of shit.
Son of a bitch, we'll go with.
Yeah. I'm a real son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. He told her that I know I'm not always the easiest person to deal with because I don't really show my emotions, which he seems to show them too much is the problem.
You show all of them.
And he said a lot of times, I know I seem hard and cold, which no, you seem like a crazy old lady who's swinging a broom around at children.
That's for sure. But cold is not it. You sound like a pain in the ass.
He assured her that he did not mean to come off that way. That was not what he was going for. So September 18th, 1999, wedding day is here.
Big day.
And we got to break this day down into little sections now. This is hours before the wedding. Okay. Gendra is marrying Alec Jarnigan. It's a big day. On that day, Jean and Brad were in different places mentally, let's just say. Jean was very excited. Her daughter, she's the mother of the bride.
Right.
Super excited. She's very close to Gendra. It's her only daughter. And, she's going to be surrounded by her close family members and her friends and her dad and her aunts and uncles and all this shit. And it's going to be one of the happiest days of Jean's life. She's thrilled for this. This is the big party. Brad doesn't want to go to the wedding.
He hates this.
He didn't want to meet He didn't want to meet Wayne's family. You don't have to meet Wayne's family. Shake Wayne's hand. Hey, congratulations. And then don't talk to him the rest of the night. You don't have to talk to his cousin. Who cares?
If you're the mom of the bride's boyfriend, you can go sit at the table and not worry about any of this.
No, go find someone to talk. There's always someone to talk to at a wedding.
Yeah.
So find some asshole to talk to.
Find some wacky aunt's boyfriend.
Yeah, go talk to him. Listen to his conspiracy theories.
Married and brought
Someone's got like alien conspiracy theories. Talk to that guy. He'll be interesting for a couple hours. So he didn't feel a part of Jean's family, and he wanted to be with just Jean by herself. And people around it said he, quote, seemed like he resented her joy that day. She's so happy it pisses him off. In the early afternoon,
how'd she find it?
Yeah, in the early afternoon of the wedding day, the bride and the bridesmaids gathered at Jean's house to get ready for the wedding.
Yeah,
they were all happy, excited. They're getting dressed. They're doing their hair. They're taking pictures. What chicks do before weddings. Brad stayed out of the way and was gone from the house or not observed by those that were there for periods of time during the day before the wedding, too. So he's been kind of in and out. When Brad was around, everyone said there seemed to be tension between he and Jean. At one point, they got in an argument over Jean's medication, which we talked about, which Jean's niece, Kelly, witnessed. Jean had recently experienced a kidney problem that required her to take medication. This is serious. Brad was insistent she take her medication on the day of the wedding. Jean resisted because she wanted to enjoy the day and have a drink, and it probably didn't work. Champagne at least, something. So
kidney meds when you're
got to take kidney meds when you got to take kidney meds. Brad angrily responded, quote, "If I have to take my medication, so do you." He's such a child, this guy. Wow. If you don't
You're
take
taking Klonopin. She's taking a supplement for her fucking kidney.
for her kidneys. He said, "If you don't take your medication, I won't go to the wedding." Which she should have said, "Great, win-win.
See you
I don't have
around.
to take my medication, and you won't be there to fuck the whole day up for me." He then stormed out of the house.
Yeah.
As he does, later calling Jean twice in quick succession, trying to smooth things over and ensure her that he would go to the wedding.
Oh, another apology period.
Whenever he has a thought, he should wait an hour to express it, because he'll feel much differently by then.
Yeah.
He should have a watch that just you press one button and it sets a 60-minute timer. Well, 60 minutes on that, okay?
Yeah. I mean,
We want to talk to that shit.
when you have anger issues, that old count to 10 bullshit, but he
He needs to count to an hour.
yeah, his is so extreme.
Yeah, it is. Now, while Brad is gone, Jean kept seeking reassurances from the niece, Kelly, that her hair looked good for the wedding. My hair look okay? Got to take a lot of pictures. I don't want to look like shit, you know? It was important to Jean that she looked beautiful for the special day. Jean told Kelly that Brad had really done a number on her self-esteem, and she wants to, do I look okay, basically. There's also Josie Davis. That's the casino partner there that goes out with her. That's her Louise to her Thelma here. Jean's good friend Josie Davis also arrived while Brad was gone. Jean invited Josie to share in the pre-wedding festivities. So Josie and Jean had met years before. They used to work together, and they basically went out with each other every other weekend. They've been tight, close friends. They saw each other less frequently after Jean and Brad got engaged because, as we know, nothing sets Brad off like ladies' night.
Ladies' night.
Can't have that. So,
Ladies' night is the most
how dare you?
the Sandrast fucking night. Fucking bullshit.
And they're going to get cheaper drinks. I won't have it.
No
gonna have
cover
fun?
and quarter drinks. What
that.
the fuck?
And they're out without me. I won't have it. So they had become closer after Josie had confided in Jean about her own abusive relationship. Jean had told Josie that she was concerned about Brad's anger and that the fact that he didn't like her kids. So she confided in Josie about the incident where Brad broke her door down. Josie's understanding was that Jean and Brad had broken up in the weeks prior to the wedding and that Jean had helped Brad meet a doctor to assist with his anger control.
Okay.
Josie thought they were back together at the time of the wedding because Jean had her engagement ring on, which it might have just went well with the outfit because
Right.
you know,
Jewelry does, yeah.
yeah, people wear their
Set shit off.
they wear their finery at a wedding.
Yeah.
That's people come with their nicest watch. They wear their nicest shit. That's what people do.
Brooch, yeah.
Yeah, everything they have. They break it out. That thing Grandma gave me, better put that on. So Josie was concerned that Brad might be abusing Jean, but Jean denied that Brad ever hit her.
Oh.
So she never hit me. Now, the day before the wedding, Jean had invited Josie to leave her car at Jean's house and ride to the wedding with she and Brad because Josie didn't like to drive on freeways.
What?
Jesus Christ. I didn't like to drive on freeways.
How do you
That's
get anywhere?
part of driving. Yeah.
How do you fucking get anywhere?
Back east, you can weave your way places, but it takes a
suppose,
shitload
but-
longer.
Right.
So Brad later returned to the house dressed in his tuxedo, ready to go.
Wow.
Tuxedo, because he's with the mother of the bride, so he's got to dress up. He carried beer and ice into the backyard and began setting up for a party that Jean was to host at her house after the wedding. Well, after party. Josie Davis spent some time in the backyard with him. Brad and Josie each had one beer. Josie told Brad she thought he'd given up drinking.
Oh, boy.
He said, well, I did give up drinking, but that quote, and this is a very, very New England thing to say, quote, beers don't count.
Right.
Yeah, that's not drinking. This is beer. You know how many people in fucking New England I've heard say that? I'm having a beer. I'm not drinking. Like Pennsylvania too, like that quarter of alcoholism and like Scranton around there, my relatives. I'm just drinking a beer, Ma. That's my 15-year-old cousin. She's like, oh, okay.
I quit
thought it was
drinking,
something
so I'm
hot.
gonna go out and have a beer. That's what they all say that.
But they don't
do
get
it.
Yep. He told her only the hard stuff counts. This is New England, babe. After touring with the backyard with Brad for about 15, 20 minutes, Josie came back inside to have something to eat and watch the picture taking. Brad remained outside for a while, didn't participate in any of that activity, which why would he? That's a bunch of girls doing it's a women thing. That's not, you're not involved in that. That's them.
It's the worst fucking part of a wedding, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So he showed no visible signs of intoxication, and as far as they could tell, he only had one beer. Finally, the wedding comes, okay? Well, we're going to go to the wedding. The bride and bridesmaids were getting into the limousine. That is when the granddaughter of Gene's neighbor, Alma Miller, Alma Miller's granddaughter, comes over to see them. Alma Miller is watching from across the street and saw Gene, Brad, Gendra, and her bridesmaids getting ready to go to the wedding. Brad took photographs of the little granddaughter, who's a little girl, with Gendra and Gene, who were all dressed up, and she wanted to take pictures with them. So Brad drives the ladies to the wedding. Josie and Gene, anyway. The other ones are going in a limo. Okay, this is in Brad's car. While on the way, Brad and Gene had another argument about medication. Brad reached into the console, took out a pill vial, read the label, and put it back. He then picked up a second vial and ingested a pill from it. And Gene said, "What are you doing? You just took one an hour and a half ago. You're going to be flat on your face." And he said, "I can handle it. I got this." Yeah. At no time during the drive or at any other time in the day did Brad show any apparent difficulty in saying or doing anything. He wasn't falling over. He wasn't slurring his words.
Motor skills are fine.
Everything's fine. So now, ceremony and reception. Let's go to that. A videotape of the ceremony is taken and is out there for later. Brad is walking just fine, walking Gene down the aisle to her seat, standing in the receiving line with her. Gene took an active role in greeting guests. Brad appeared as if he didn't want to be there. There's a reason for that, because he fucking didn't. Yeah. After the receiving line, the families assembled for photographs. Brad remained detached, which is, I guess, fine. He didn't want to be photographed with Wayne, the father of the bride. What an asshole. He had to be coaxed repeatedly by others to participate in the picture taking. The videotape of the reception showed during the cocktail hour when Gene appeared in Brad's company. They're not looking at one another and there's no interaction between the two of them. They're just kind of standing next to each other.
I mean, you could have missing a golden opportunity to have a very funny or at least cool picture of those two like squaring up to fist fight while the bride stands there. Like you could
something.
It could be so fun.
Something fun. If everybody's not an asshole, it's not a weird situation. It's just not. It's fine.
But I mean, he's putting out the vibe that he doesn't like this guy anyway, and everybody understands it.
But who cares? You have to see him one day. Who the fuck do you care?
Annoying. It's stupid.
Jesus, it's so stupid. So Gene's sister, Patty, then told about an incident between Gene and Brad that happened during the reception. Yeah. Patricia and her sister Geraldine and others were standing with Gene and laughing and talking. Brad was standing with them. At one point, somebody spilled a drink that Brad was holding on Gene's dress. Someone hit his arm, it spilled, went on her dress. So they said Brad got a mean, pissed off look on his face. Gene tried to joke that Brad had bought the dress, so it didn't matter if he spilled the drink on it. Now, you bought it anyway. But Brad didn't think it was funny. Mm-hmm. He walked away and left her just standing there by herself without him after that, just like an asshole. So this prompted Gene to walk outside for a private moment with Patricia, her sister. Mm-hmm. And she said, quote, "I finally had it. You don't understand. You just don't know what is happening to me. And now Brad has left me and I'm here by myself at the wedding." A few minutes later, guess what? Brad comes back.
Yeah.
He's Brad, so he's back. Gene tried to console him about the drink spilling incident, saying it was just a joke. Brad was still upset and maintained it wasn't a joke.
What?
Calm down.
You could tear this dress. I don't give a shit. You bought it.
I'm gonna wear, and I'm wearing it once.
One day,
for this occasion.
You can burn it tonight. Yeah.
I don't care. So at dinner, Brad and Gene sat at a table with her parents and two of her sisters and their husbands. Mm-hmm. Gene spent most of the evening mingling. It's the mother of the bride. It's her job. Brad sulked, stayed detached. He wasn't observed eating or drinking while he was at the table. He was just kind of sitting there being pissy. Mm-hmm. Not really a part of the festivities. There was times during the reception where no one knew where he was. He just disappeared for a while. At one point at the table, he and Jean got into an argument because she wanted to meet her ex-husband's brother, who was in the car business, and explore doing business with him. Brad was adamant that he did not want to meet Wayne's brother. She's trying to help him, going, he's in the car business too. You guys might be able to get some business together. And he said, I don't care what the fuck he does. I don't want to meet him.
Car business, you're in the truck business. Maybe people that come to him looking for trucks, he can send them to you. And you can put some more fucking food on the table.
Yeah, please. So Jean's father finally advised her to just drop the subject, suggesting Brad was, she said he's successful. He's a successful businessman. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't want to deal with this guy and be in business, it's not like he can't pay his bills. Leave him alone, which is good advice. Quit breaking his fucking balls. Tell him how to run his own business. Leave him alone, you know? So the videotape of the first time he's right in the entire evening is that's the only time so far. The videotape of the wedding also shows Jean dancing with her daughter and all that. They both look very happy. They're crying tears of joy, all that shit, right? Yeah. Having a good time. Brad stood at a distance watching them and photographing them, which is fine also. Jean later sat on his lap, as shown on the videotape, and they both posed for a picture. Brad grinned and waved for the camera.
Cute.
So he's getting over it, is what it seems like. 9 p.m. it's slow dance time.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Brad danced with Jean. Their slow dance is shown on the videotape. Luckily, there's a videographer doing all this. And Jean appeared serious and tense as she discussed him. They were talking, arguing while they were slow dancing. Wow. They said Brad responded with a few words and showed little emotion or expression. Toward the end of the dance, he kissed her firmly. Okay. Now, he has no trouble dancing. He's not hammered or anything like that. Yeah. In the last segment of the video, Brad is shown crossing the floor of the reception hall at the end of the reception. He walked normally and with purpose. At no time during the wedding and reception did he have any apparent difficulty with his speech, walking, or any other signs of intoxication. Didn't look shit-faced, which Jean is happy about, by the way.
Well-documented sobriety. Yeah.
Yep. So Brad and Jean were among the last of the guests to leave the wedding reception. Both Jean's niece, Kelly, and her dad, Albert Gerard Sr., said they saw nothing untoward in Brad's behavior when they said their goodbyes and left the reception. Now, Jean's ex-husband, Wayne, helped take down the white twinkle lights that had been used as decorations so they could be loaded into Brad's car and taken back to Jean's house. Brad was helping to pack up centerpieces and other items in the back of his car. So he's being a part of the crew here. Yeah. Now, Albert Gerard Jr., Jean's brother, younger brother, waited around after the reception to talk to his sister. He'd been out of state for a few years and wanted to catch up with her.
Yeah.
Jean, who basically they have a big age difference.
Oh?
It's a big age. Yeah, she's the oldest and he's the youngest, and there's a bunch of kids. So I think that there's a really healthy age difference. And he always looked up to her like a mother because they had such a big age difference. And she would assure him that you've always been my first son. Don't worry. That type of shit. Yeah. So as he was walking out, Albert, which is this brother here, ran into Wayne, with who he knew growing up. They were very close since they were young, because he was an older guy that was dating his sister. So they hadn't seen each other in a long time, and they made plans talking about going fishing together.
Hell yeah.
Nice. So as Albert was heading into his car, he ran into Brad in the back of the building while Brad was loading his trunk and no one else was around. Albert said he was just about to move back to Rhode Island and suggested that maybe he and Brad could go fishing together. Oh. Albert's just friendly. He has nobody here.
Albert loves fishing.
He'll fish with anybody, this guy.
Fucking
fuck.
Yeah.
He indicated, Brad said, that he and Jean would enjoy that. So Albert talked to Brad about how Brad felt with Wayne around and how things were going with Brad and Jean. He's having a conversation. Brad said, I don't have any problem with Wayne, but I just don't really want to hang out with him and I don't want to meet his family. Albert said that Brad was flustered, upset, and kind of bent out of shape at the prospect of meeting the family, Wayne's family. He said he was adamant he didn't want to meet them. Like he kept saying, I don't want to fucking care about these people. He said the tone of his voice, the look in his eyes, he was very intense about it. He said, I had never seen Brad upset like that before.
Wow.
Really went crazy. Over the course of the conversation, Brad mentioned to Albert that he had been taking tranquilizers.
Oh.
After hearing that, Albert was concerned that Brad not be mixing tranquilizers and alcohol, especially if he was about to drive. It's probably bad news. He told Brad he hoped Brad hadn't been drinking, and Brad responded that he might not. He hadn't been drinking, but he might be all looped out on Sprite. You know, that stuff gets you. He was joking, obviously. He said nothing about Brad's speech, gait, balance, anything led to Albert to think that Brad was under the influence of anything. He seemed perfectly fine.
Just hopped up on caffeine-free and shitloads of sugar.
Just lots of sugar, babe. Yeah. During the conversation, Brad assured Albert that he loved Jean a lot. 10:30 p.m., the drive home. Here we go. Okay, Brad leaves the wedding reception with Jean and Josie about 10:30 p.m. There was no plan for guests to return to Jean's house for more celebration, even though they had planned it earlier. I guess the wedding went long enough to where they didn't need to have an after party.
10:30 at night, it's time to go home.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people in their 40s and shit. Yeah. It's not for us. We're going home now. We've already been drinking. It's over. We both said that. It's over. Brad drove. Jeannie sat in the passenger seat. Josie sat in the back seat. The drive from the reception in Bristol to Jean's house took about a half hour. Brad drove perfectly fine, not fucked up. Didn't hit anything and, didn't swerve. His speech is fine. Everything's fine here. He did not open the console, take out any pills, or have any conversation about medication on the way home. Mm-hmm. On the ride home, three of these people, they talked about the wedding. At one point, Brad said that he didn't want anything to do with Jean's ex-husband's family. Again, he made it very clear, Josie said. Jean said nothing in response because she's heard it 1,700 times today. Yeah. Although Josie got the impression that they had talked about it before she got in the car. She was like, this is a sore subject. Okay. Josie and Jean talked at length about how great the wedding had been and how everything had gone so well. As they get close to Jean's house, Jean tells Brad that she would like to go to bed and that she would like him to leave. Why don't you go home so I can go to bed? I'm sure she didn't say, I would like you to leave. I'm sure it was like, I'm going to go to bed. Why don't you go home? She told Brad that when Josie left, he should leave too. Jean said she wasn't feeling that well. I was not feeling well. Brad didn't argue or say anything in response, Josie said. They get to the house. Brad drives into the driveway, pulls the car up near the garage. They all get out. Brad stands in front of the car, to the left between the car and the garage. Jean opened the door to the house, and Josie went into the house for a few minutes to get her car keys so she could drive home. As you remember, she left her car there. Now, Jean stood in the doorway talking to Josie as Josie transferred her flowers from Brad's car to her car on the street. Her car's parked on the street. They talked for about 5 minutes. Jean asked Josie if she was okay to drive, and Josie assured her that she was just fine.
Right.
I'm Rhode Island sober. I'm like a 0.15. I'm good. I'm good with that. They had an agreement to always be honest with each other about such matters. She said, "No, I'm being honest. Don't lie to me, Josie.
Drinking and driving?
Don't lie to me, Josie. You drunk bitch. What's going on?" Josie asked Jean if she was okay because Jean had said she wasn't feeling well. Jean thanked Josie for being part of this wonderful day. Josie said goodnight and to Jean and Brad, and they said goodbye to her, and she left. During this whole period, Brad never moved from his spot in the driveway. He's just standing there. So Josie assumed that he was waiting for her to leave so that he could say goodnight to Jean and let her go to sleep. Yeah. Josie leaves. She drives on the back roads, as we know. Yeah. She doesn't drive on the freeways. This is from her home, Jean's home in Cranston, to her home in Warwick. They figure she got home between 11:30 and 11:40 after a drive of about 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. By her calculation, she left Jean's house sometime after 11 and perhaps as late as 11:20. She said she would never have left Jean with Brad if she thought Jean was unsafe. Everything seemed fine. Just before midnight, remember Alma Miller? Well, here she is.
Across the street, yeah.
Alma Miller, who's been a neighbor and friend of Jean's for over 20 years, was sitting at her kitchen table. This is like a weekend at like midnight, by the way. She's sitting at a kitchen table clipping coupons from an early edition of the Sunday paper, as was her
Wow.
I would say early. It's not even fucking Sunday yet.
Right.
As was her usual weekend custom. This is how she spent her Saturday night. She heard a voice from outside saying, "Help me, help me." She thought it was Jean. the person was not screaming, but not saying the words in a quiet voice, just loud enough so they could be heard across the street, but not screaming. And Alma said she's in her house, doors and windows closed.
And she still heard it.
And she heard it. She paused for a few moments thinking it was odd. She did one of these. She's clipping. She's like,
yeah.
Didn't hear anything else and said, okay, that's interesting. Then she got up from the table, unlocked the door and opened it, turned the lights on outside, and stood looking out of the screen door across the street to Jean's house because she's nosy.
Yeah, that's a movie scene.
She's frugal and nosy. Yeah. When I saw this, it's funny. I was telling somebody about this, and I said, this is a very cinematic scene. You can picture this playing out
you can
in
see
the
the
opening
zoom
of
in
a
on her
movie.
face through the screen door.
Click, the light turns on. Click, close up on the light, cut to the door, her coming into it. So she did all of this. She estimated that no more than a minute passed from the time she heard the voice until she flipped on the lights, and it took her about 20 seconds to open the door and turn the lights on. This is what she could see. She looked across the street towards Jean's house, and there's a photograph later on that you can see what her view is and everything like that. Yeah. And it's a pretty good view out of there. But much better than like the old lady and My Cousin Vinny that needs thicker glasses. Much better.
What about the guy with all the crud on his screens?
What's this crud on your screen? What's this stuff? Now, a light on the front of Jean's house, located between the garage and breezeway and right above the driver's side of Brad's car, illuminated mainly the front of his car and the driver's side door, and the rest of the driveway was more in shadow. The car itself was pulled up close to the garage door. She does not believe, Alma Miller said, that the floodlight on the opposite corner of the garage was on to light up that part of the yard. She said that she could not see in the back of Brad's car very well, nor could she see to the right of his car along the hedges. Only that spot that's reflecting, that's where the light is there. Okay. She said that had a person been lying on the ground behind the car, she would not have been able to see them, is what she said. She said, had a person been lying on the driver's side of the car or walked or run behind the car, she said she would have been able to see that, though. Okay, so Alma Miller looking out the door, her attention was drawn to Brad as he stood next to the driver's side of the door. She testifies later that he appeared hesitant and that he stood next to the door for 5 to 10 seconds before he got in, and that all of his attention did not appear to be focused on getting into the car. I don't know that's weird. Although she tells the police later that she saw Brad attempting to get into his car and that he appeared to be having difficulty. She said not in like a drunk way, like he was hesitating.
Just fumbling around.
She said that originally, when she thought he was having trouble getting into the car, she said that was her assumption because she figured he'd been drinking because she knew he'd been to a wedding.
Right.
Which is crazy. He must be stumbling because he went to a wedding.
Went to a wedding.
It was weird.
What do you do at a wedding besides drink and eat?
It's very strange. She said, but the difficulty she actually observed is when he stood outside the car and had hesitancy and a lack of full attention to getting into the car. When Brad finally got into the car, he didn't have any trouble doing so. He started the car up, back down the driveway, and put it in, started up, back out in a fluid motion. Didn't sit there for 30 seconds before he started the engine. As he backed the car down the driveway at a fast pace, it bounced and bucked. She said it looked like an inexperienced driver trying to use a clutch. That kind of shit. When the car got to the end of the driveway, it cut to the right, with the passenger side tires cutting across the grass a little bit. The car backed up and went forward in one motion with the car still bouncing. Alma Miller observed no brake lights and does not recall seeing any backup lights. She said Brad never stopped the car or got out of it after he left Jean's house, and he made his way down the street in the direction of Bain Junior High School. Once Brad's car was gone, Alma Miller noticed something in the street to the left of the driveway looking like a human body.
Right.
So she grabbed her cell phone and a flashlight, ran out to the street so no one else would run over the body.
Yeah.
And Jean noticed that Jean is the one lying in the roadway with injuries she said looked so severe that she wasn't recognizable to her.
Wow.
She said, in the words of Alma Miller, she looked like a rag doll in the way she was laying, too, in terms of her limbs being in odd, unnatural positions and shit like that. So she calls 911 from the street, and she's saying that it's the same thing from the top of the show. No. The guy was backing out of his driveway, and I don't know. I heard someone yell, help. There was a wedding. I don't know if the guy was drunk or what. Now this makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. Yeah. She said, though, the guy dragged them both down the street. She said she was positive that it was Brad's car, a black car, driven by the guy who lives there. Mm-hmm. So police arrive about 1 o'clock a.m. at Jean's house. And there is a lot going on in the meantime, by the way.
I believe it, yeah.
Before they get here, there's a whole lot happening. We'll get to that. But we'll get to the scene here first. Sergeant Henry of the Cranston Police Department arrives. And after the initial officers and rescue had arrived, he noted the victim was covered with road rash, being dragged around on the ground. Her nightgown was rolled up around her neck and chest, and she was dead. Now, Alma could not confirm her identity, for sure. So in order to identify the victim, the cop went to Jean's house, got no response, and found that the door leading from the kitchen to the breezeway was open. He found pictures that looked like the victim, although he still wasn't positive it was Jean. But he goes, this looks like Our Lady, similar.
That much road rash.
Yeah, couldn't even tell. And so we think this is maybe her house. He noticed blood on the street and the driveway. He also noticed blood inside the house.
Oh.
He noted large puddles of blood in the kitchen, blood smears on the kitchen floor, and a large black flashlight covered with blood on the kitchen floor.
Somebody was leaking and then made it out to the street.
Yeah, this is not just someone got hit by a car in the dark. Yeah. This is something way different. So they secured the scene. They notified Jean's family. They found Wayne, the ex-husband, and drove him to the hospital, this guy, the cop. They also found a pool of blood in the driveway just to the rear of where Brad's car was parked. It was consistent with a bloody head laying there for a minute. The blood spatter marks around this location could be indicative of a victim's head hitting the ground with force at that location. Ooh. They also found white fibers along the sidewalk where it meets the grass, consistent with her nightgown. Mm-hmm. They also found blood evidence further down the driveway, away from the garage, to another pool of blood on the roadway just north of the driveway, and then a smear of blood in the roadway connecting that pool of blood to another pool of blood on the roadway a little bit north. You can see what happens there. Yeah. The location of the blood is consistent with a body being dragged against the pavement down the driveway to the first point in the road where it rested briefly, creating a pool of blood until it came to its final resting place. The blood in the roadway is consistent with the location of the body as well, and what Alma Miller said she saw. Inside the house, the detectives find a swipe of blood above the handle on the aluminum breezeway door that leads to the outdoors, consistent with something that came in contact with it. There's no blood visible on the artificial turf on the breezeway floor. Inside the kitchen and near the door that leads from the kitchen to the breezeway, there's a small chair from which items have been knocked off. There was a large police-style mag flashlight covered with blood lying on the kitchen floor near that chair. It's a 14-inch long, 2 to 3 pound, a fucking cop flashlight. Yeah. You all know it, the one they put on their shoulder
and blind you with.
Yeah.
It's the one that every mechanic has in his bottom drawer.
Everybody's got one of those in their house in case there's a blackout. There was a blood spatter across the kitchen floor in droplets. There was also a smear pattern of blood on the kitchen floor. The largest collection of blood was found where the kitchen meets the hallway.
Okay.
There was blood on the wall, blood spatter from the hall to the kitchen, and pooling of blood in the hallway consistent with blood dripping from a level close to the floor from the force of gravity only, just the blood dripping. The way the blood was spattered in the kitchen indicates 2 cast-off patterns that could be consistent with multiple blows to the victim with the flashlight when the victim was down.
Okay.
Similar cast-off patterns appears on the wall of the hallway. The master bedroom door, which locked from the inside, which is Okay. Yeah, it should. Okay, never mind. That's how it should lock. I was like, why would they put it that way? Of course it locks from the inside. I'm like, inside? No, that's normal. Yeah, outside is weird. Was scratched on the outside and evidenced cracked wood around the damage to the striker plate. So it looked like something happened to this door.
It's been kicked in before.
Yep. The scratches on the door are not reflected in the photograph of the bridesmaids taken near the door earlier in the day. So these are new.
These are new scratches.
Everything was photographed in that house today. There was nothing inside the bedroom to evidence a struggle. The bed covers were messed up and pulled back to around a 45-degree angle. There was no blood evident upstairs at all. So they go to the autopsy because they're like, we have no idea what happened. She got hit by a car. There's blood out there, but there's blood in here too. So the autopsy report indicated that blunt force trauma to the head and neck, including a scalp laceration at the vertex of the head, hemorrhage in the deep musculature of the left side of the neck, and petechiae, conjunctivae, and sclerae of the eyes. Yeah. These findings here were consistent with blunt force trauma to the head, separate from being run over by a car.
Yeah.
And manual strangulation.
Right.
It's a lot of stuff that's happened to her. In addition, the blunt force compressive trauma to the torso, including extensive broad abrasions and contusions on the chest and back, abrasions of the bony prominences of the face, a subscapular scapular hemorrhage, multiple bilateral rib fractures, laceration of the lungs, liver, spleen, pelvic fractures, thermal burns to the right ankle and left knee, and contusions and abrasions to the extremities.
She's been in a massive fight.
You could have dropped her out of a fucking plane. She'd have less injuries in this. This is crazy. These findings were consistent with being run over and compressed under a motor vehicle. Yeah. Okay. They determined the cause of death was rib and pelvic fractures, lung and liver lacerations due to the compressive blunt force trauma from being run over. Wow. The nightgown was removed from her at the time of autopsy and secured by police. It was bloodied, shredded, and consistent with being beaten and dragged under a car. Mm-hmm. Okay. Later on, by the way, a cop that returns to the scene, apparently a pedestrian the next morning, found a bloody tuxedo shirt near the junior high school that's down the street.
The ruffles in the center.
Absolutely. So this is what's going on now. Okay, now that happened at 1 o'clock. Now at 12:04 p.m., okay, the police were called. That's when the first 911 call came. Mm-hmm. During this same time that's happening, Brad uses his cell phone to call his sister Debbie, who was the chief secretary and records clerk for the Portsmouth Police Department.
Oh.
His cell phone records indicate the call lasted 8 minutes, and his sister said, he said, quote, "I think I'm in trouble. I've killed Gene."
Oh.
"You're in trouble, asshole." Debbie responded by saying, "No, you didn't. Are you sure?" Which is a dumb question.
Yeah.
Later, Brad said, "I don't know, maybe she's all right. Here's her telephone number, 529-1122. Call her up. Yeah. Go check on her."
Call her up. Last time I started to dispose of a body, and then she came too. So who knows?
Could be anything. I thought I killed a broad once before. Didn't know.
I'm terrible at this diagnosis.
I don't know. I don't feel for pulses. I just like to see the general view. Brad said, "You do that." She said, "Why don't you do it?" He goes, "Well, I'm busy." And she said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, I'm driving to the bridge to jump off because I don't want to go to the ACI," which is either the jail or the mental institution, one of the two. Debbie said, "Stop. Don't go any further. Call the police or go home and call the police." At one point, Brad said, quote, "I'm wearing a tux and it's covered in blood," which I will say this. This is episode 723. We've had a lot of episodes, a lot of outfits people kill in. Overalls are very popular for murder. Nude is popular. We have never had someone kill in formal wear before. Have we ever?
Not a tuxedo.
I'm sure formal wear.
Yeah.
A suit, yeah. Yeah, that's happened plenty. But like a tuxedo?
Tuxedo. Bow tie. Clip on.
Rented clothes.
Yeah, somebody else's shoes.
Thin-soled shoes that hurt when you walk. Yeah, that's what he's wearing.
Different laces on either side.
Yeah, barely long enough to tie a stupid bow.
Very small bow on those shoes.
This big. It's like a mouse's mustache, that bow. It's so tiny.
You get arthritis tying it.
It's so bad. It's easier. You'd be easier off just doing it with your tongue like a cherry stem. It'd be and trying to do it with your big stupid fingers. He said also, quote, I hit her with a flashlight and ran her head over twice.
Oh, Jesus.
He said that he had life insurance policies at work and that either Debbie or his sister Cindy was the beneficiary, and I don't know which one, but I'm just letting you know that one is the beneficiary. He said the ring he gave Gene was in the glove box. He said he was driving like a maniac and had done some minor damage to his car during the drive from Cranston to Newport. He's just hitting shit. He did say, I'm sober, though. Stone sober.
All right.
Debbie said that Brad's voice was quiet and rambling like someone who'd been drinking a lot, though. She had no difficulty understanding him, nor did she note any slurred speech. She just thought that he sounded intoxicated, but she didn't know because she knew something was wrong with him. She said, though, she had never dealt with someone who had just killed someone before, so maybe he was just being weird because of that.
Yeah, manic episode.
She said that him, later on, she said, I guess him having just killed someone could have explained his rambling speech. He's blah, 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 he doesn't know what's going on. That call ended at 12:12 a.m. on September 19th, 1999. Then he's making more phone calls. A couple minutes after he called Debbie, he called the operator. We don't know what went on there.
Right. What time is it?
Hey, at the time.
When you do that?
Yeah. That would be fucking amazing. At the tone, it will be 1:32. We think he might be calling the police on himself here. Okay. A minute after that, he called Gene's house. That call lasted for less than a minute because ain't nobody fucking answering. 12:17 a.m., he calls his sister Cindy. About that time, Debbie was talking to Cindy about the call she just gotten from Brad, and Brad either beeped in, his call waiting through to Cindy. Cindy hung up from talking to Debbie and took Brad's call. This lasted for 18 minutes until 12:35 a.m.
Wow.
After he hung up, they talked for another 5. She called him right back, and they talked for another 5 minutes till 12:41. After that, he hung up again. She called him back 3 times at 12:41, 12:42, and 12:43 a.m. Each of those times, the phone kept cutting out. So now we're in bad. This is 1999.
Yeah.
The reception sucks generally. It still sucks a lot of places. So
it's pretty bad.
It's bad. So in his first conversation with Cindy, he said he just killed Gene and he was on his way to the bridge to jump off, as one does.
Yeah.
He later said he was on the bridge when he was talking to her. She spoke to him while he was out of his car on the bridge. He said he was going to jump, and then he said, oh, Frankie Rosa's here. That's Frankie Rosa.
Who's that?
Frankie Rosa is Officer Frank Rosa of the Newport Police Department, formerly the Portsmouth Police Department, where his sister works, who is a longtime friend of the family.
They've known him for a long time.
They know him forever.
Yeah.
So Cindy said that Brad had Cindy says later to the police that Brad had just swallowed a bottle of pills and that she could hear him swallowing the pills on the phone call. She surmised that he must have told her, although she could not recall whether he told her or not. But whatever. She also said, it seems like Cindy doesn't really want to tell what they were talked about. Debbie is willing to talk about it. Cindy's...
Yeah.
It's a lengthy conversation. She pretty much synthesizes it down to about, 30 seconds and is like, that's about it. Where there's a lot more conversation going on. But she said that he sounded out of it and he sounded drunk, although she did not put that in her police statement later on. She didn't say that till later, and that her impression was based only on his rambling conversation, not any slurring or other difficulties in his speech. Sounds like he kills someone and then spins out.
Yeah.
Now, Stephen Clark was the supervisor working at the entrance of the Newport Bridge that night in Jamestown. He received a report of a man stopped in the center span of the bridge. He notified the state police and Newport police, then drove up to the top of the bridge in his own emergency vehicle. Now, prior to that, neither he nor the only toll collector working the inbound lane that night noticed anyone trying to run the lane without paying or otherwise exhibiting any erratic behavior.
Sure.
Nobody blasted through the fucking arm there and, kept going. Now, at the top of the bridge, 2 Newport patrol officers arrived just after Stephen Clark got there, and a Jamestown patrol car happened to be on the bridge as well. A black car with the license plate BE-27, which is Brad's car, was found parked directly against the curb near the top of the bridge with the motor turned off and its flashers on. So I put the hazards on. No one inside the car. The officers fanned out in different directions because they didn't see him and couldn't find him. There's just a car. They thought he jumped already.
Hilarious.
There's just a car. So Detective Frank Rosa checked the car and found no note, found a pill bottle with Edwards written on it. Officer Sylvia of the Newport police then yelled, "I found him!" He had crawled over the side of the bridge onto this is terrifying.
Landing there?
Onto a platform and then across and onto an I-beam situated 6 to 8 feet out from and parallel to the side of the fucking bridge. He's on the maintenance beam on the bottom of the fucking bridge, just standing on a fucking I-beam like a lunatic. The I-beam is used by repairmen. He sat on the I-beam straddling it facing Newport with one leg on one side of the beam and one leg on the other. There's water hundreds of feet below him. If he falls, he's fucking dead. That's it.
Yeah.
So the detective approaches him and he recognized him, as we know from the phone call, and said, "I'm glad to see you, Frank." That's his name, right? Frank? Yeah. Glad to see you.
He said that to the cop.
To the cop. Glad to see you, Frank, because he's an old family friend. He knew, I guess, he had apparently attended the wedding of Brad's second wife.
Oh.
So he knew the whole family. Rosa asked him, "Hey, what you doing out here?" Which is a real reasonable question.
It's the maintenance side. You doing maintenance?
Now, they have not found Gene yet, mind you. Gene is not going to be found for another half hour. So or 15 minutes or so, actually, at this point. So at that time, Rosa had not spoken to the Cranston police about anything in Cranston. So Frank Rosa got within 20 feet of Brad. Brad got anxious and started moving around a lot and threatened to jump if anyone came closer.
All right.
The detective decided that because he knew Brad, he should be the one to try to talk to him to gain his confidence, because he kind of was already halfway there, and get him onto the safe part of the bridge. So Rosa kept eye contact with him and kept up a continuous conversation with him. So, yeah, good. What do you think? Spring training looking good right now. I'm saying the Sox are looking good. Pedro is hurling it, boy. He is throwing it down there in Florida. It's looking great.
How's that wife of yours?
Oh, shit. Let's not talk about that. Rosa let him take the conversation anywhere that he wanted to go. The detective knew that if he stopped talking or said the wrong thing, he might jump. So you just got to keep it going and keep it positive. So just as he began to establish some sort of rapport with Brad's cell phone rang. So now he's straddling a fucking I-beam above the water. Yeah, hold on, I got to take this call. He answered the call, and he said, "This is my favorite thing in the world. Okay, you've just murdered a woman.
Yeah.
3 different ways, first of all.
Yeah.
Murdered the fuck out of a woman, driven away, are in formal wear, straddling a fucking I-beam on the side of a bridge while the police and rescue squad try to talk you down." He answers the phone and says, quote, "I can't speak right now, I'm busy." I can't speak right now, I'm busy. I can't talk, I'm busy. That's what he said. And then he took the phone and threw it into the water.
Oh.
Would you think he would have done that before answering it? Just ring, fuck this thing. He answered and said, "I'm busy right now, I can't talk."
That is interesting. He gave them... I don't want him to sit around wondering why he's going to voicemail. May as well tell him. Yeah,
this is the most busy a human being has ever been. By the way, you're so busy right now.
Yeah.
Brad tells Rosa that he had done something that he couldn't deal with. He held up his bloody hands and said, quote, "I killed her. I killed her," with his hands up in the air. Rosa tried to calm him down. He said, "Listen, calm down. Come over the railing. Let's go. I ain't coming out there. That shit's dangerous. Right. You come over here. We'll talk. We can work everything out." And Brad just kept saying that he did something wrong. He did something wrong, and you don't understand. You don't understand. He asked Rosa to get the Cranston police to, and he gives the address of Gene's house on Fiat Road. I won't give the address because we get looky-loos, and that's not cool. So You can look it up, though, if you really want to.
It's out there somewhere.
It's in there. So Rosa then asked him, who should we be looking for at that address? And he said, Gene Robinson.
You know who.
So at his request, Rosa advised the other officers to call the Cranston police and check on Gene Robinson. Mm-hmm. At that point, he then shows Rosa his hands again, swings around facing the ocean, and begins emptying his pockets. So this is, I'm about to jump now.
Yeah. Making himself lighter?
I don't know if he's doing that or just saying, I don't need this shit. Just, one of those
Earthly
things.
possessions, this bullshit. Yeah.
So the detective just wanted Brad to look at him. Yeah. And Brad said, you don't understand, man. I can't go to the ACI or the Looney House. This is her blood on my hands. And he kept bringing up Jean and the blood. He said, I killed her tonight. I beat her with a flashlight. I ran her over with my car twice. Mm-hmm. He said he wanted Rosa to call the hospital to check on her condition. And Rosa said, well, tell you what, why don't you come over the railing and we can call together.
Right.
Me and you will both call. I'll put it on speaker.
Let's
we'll
go
talk
over
about
there.
it. Fuck it. Hey, let's take a ride.
Yeah.
So Rosa tried to get closer to him. By this point, it's about 20 minutes after Rosa initially approached Brad. His speech began to show the first evidence of slurring at this point. Mm-hmm. After 20 minutes, because that's how long it takes for the medication to kick in. He assured Rosa he's okay. He stated that he had taken 25 to 30 pills today. Whew. Wow. Brad commented that he was losing his train of thought. The officers at that point ordered the bridge closed, which I think they should have done from the beginning.
I'm sure
there's people driving by. Yeah. Brad then said to Detective Rosa, it all started in the house, Frankie. I kicked in her bedroom door. I beat her. I tried to calm her down. I dragged her outside. I slammed her head into the driveway, and I ran her over to kill her.
Wow.
You see why I have to end my life, right? I'm fucked, basically, is what he said.
I'm in a lot of trouble.
Count to 100, asshole. 10 isn't enough.
Count to an hour.
Count to an hour. That's what I said. He needs a timer. Click. That's going to go off. And he needs probably like 4 or 5 of them because there's a bunch of shit that's going to piss him off. Oh, my 2 o'clock is up. I can be okay. I'm fine about that one now. He said that he wasn't feeling well then and that the pills were beginning to work on him. Detective Rosa told him he had to get off the beam. Brad's speech became more slurred, but he says, I'm okay out here.
This is where I need to be.
I'm good. So then he moved to the platform, Brad does. It took about 15 to 20 minutes to get him on there. Once he was on the platform, he's right face to face with Rosa, and he said, quote, I know what's going to happen. You guys are going to muckle me. I've never heard the word M-U-C-K-L-E, muckle.
I don't know.
That's got to be a Rhode Island slang.
Maybe he meant tackle, but he was drunk?
Maybe. Or it's like I said, it's Rhode Island slang for bum rushing me. I don't know. Yeah. He said, I know I really messed up tonight. That is, you want to talk about putting it mildly. I know I really messed up tonight.
I really fouled up this job, didn't I? Yeah.
Wow. So once he got to the staging area between the beam and side of the bridge, he asked to talk to a state trooper there. Trooper Lou of the Rhode Island State Police. As Lou approached, Brad told him that he respected Lou and his office and shook Lou's hand. He then started a conversation about giving his car to his sister. He talked about the $9,000 ring and the cash that's in the car. Mm-hmm. He tried to get Lou to go into the car to look for those things, and Lou said he would not go look in the car until he knew Brad was safe. Lou asked if Brad had been drinking, and Brad said he does not drink. Lou asked about drugs, and Brad said he took 2 prescriptions. He said he took none of the first and 3 or 4 pills of Klonopin. Lou tried to talk him over the railing, but he said he couldn't go to the ACI, the jail. Lou agreed that if Brad came over the railing to talk to him, he would help Brad get his things. Look, I'll help you. Brad got suspicious at that point and started to get distraught and weave back and forth. Uh-huh. The trooper then thought that could be from drugs, so the trooper Lou grabbed him and told Brad he was going to hold him so he wouldn't fall over. I'm not trying to fuck with you, I'm just holding you. Both Lou and Rosa then grabbed Brad and pulled him over the railing, while Brad resisted, tried to hold back and get back over the railing. The other officers then rushed, or muckled him. Yeah. They muckled him up good, and They said this is from the court document, the other officers rushed the defendant and were able to help muckle him. That's got to be a word.
They muckled him. Yeah.
Maybe that's a legal word for handcuffing and tackling. I don't know.
It's a muck tackle?
We've never heard that word. 723 episodes. And 500-something a crime in sports, too.
I've never heard that word in 45 years of life.
No. I figured in this context, we might have, maybe we didn't read court documents when we were 23, but we're in there now. He said, as is standard practice with suicide suspects taken off the bridge, the officers placed him in handcuffs and took him to the emergency room for evaluation. They left the bridge at 1:51 a.m., and at Newport Hospital, they explained to the doctor that Brad had just come off the bridge and had taken a large amount of pills for anxiety and depression. Now, Brad at the hospital now, he's talking to a nurse who's been there for 25 years, and he gets signed in at 1:55 a.m. They bring him into the psychiatric room and tell the nurse that he's a suspect in the murder of his girlfriend in Cranston, and they've taken him off the bridge. The nurse was alone with him initially and said he had dried blood on his hands.
Uh-oh.
He told her the blood was from his girlfriend and that he had hurt her. He asked if he could wash off his hands. She told him that he could not wash off his hands because the police might need some sort of evidence here. Yeah. She asked him to get undressed. He was wearing a gray sweatshirt and black pants because he had put that on because he threw his tuxedo shirt out. He had a jacket, though, which is just ridiculous. Yeah. Brad told the nurse that he'd gotten into an argument with Jean and said he, quote, choked her when she wouldn't shut up. He hit her over the head with a flashlight, and when that didn't shut her up, he dragged her outside and ran her over with his car.
Wow.
She said he described these acts in a monotone voice with zero affect, and she could understand him perfectly. He told her he'd taken 20 Buspar pills and said that he took the pills after he hurt Jean because he was scared.
Okay.
The nurse was very upset by this story. She hadn't seen many cases like this in the hospital. Yeah. This is crazy. She went to report to Dr. Gleason what Brad had said, and she started crying. If you make a psychiatric nurse cry, you make a psych nurse cry, you have fucking done something bad.
That's
bad.
It's a real bad story.
As a hardened group there. The doctor was concerned about her and asked if she would like to be relieved from the case. She declined and took a few minutes to compose herself. The staff moved Brad into an observation room to monitor him for a possible drug overdose. The nurse found that he had thick speech. It's all muckled up, his speech.
Fat tongue.
Yeah, fat tongue. From that, she would have expected to smell alcohol on his breath, but didn't smell anything.
Nothing.
He had no trouble she had no trouble understanding him and found him cooperative and not resistant. She never got the sense that he didn't understand what was going on. The only question he asked was if police could call Rhode Island Hospital to check on Jean. Make sure she's doing okay. He had a very fucking flat affect and was concerned about his car being towed to the hospital either. He's like, can you tow my car to this hospital? Don't worry about your car. According to the nurse, he was more concerned about his car than anything else that was going on. Very concerned with his car.
Make sure I get that back.
The doctor sees him shortly after 2 a.m. He knew the patient had told the nurse about ingesting the 20 tablets. The doctor, though, however, said he told the doctor, though, that he had taken his usual amount of Buspar, which is 2 tablets. Right. The doctor asked him if he had overdosed on any medication, and he said that he, quote, overdosed or he ingested the entire bottle, the remainder of the bottle of Klonopin that he had. Okay. He said he thought there was about 35 tablets in the bottle.
Oh, shit.
That seems like too many. That's crazy. Now, he denied drinking any alcohol and none of that kind of shit. Brad told the doctor he got in an argument with his fiancée. She had thrown a ring away, and he had tried to get into the house or apartment, knocked down the door, and then he had strangled her. Now, the ring comes into play here. The doctor had no difficulty understanding him. He examined Brad, noted that he had scratch marks on his chest and right hand and was hurting, fucking defense wounds from her. On his initial assessment of Brad, he did not believe he was suffering from a Klonopin overdose, which the doctor had seen many times, because he was not sedated, sleepy, slurring his speech, or difficult to arouse. He got down there, his dick got hard like that.
Easy, yeah.
Easy peasy.
Pull.
Doctor did not find his speech to be thick. He displayed no signs that he was suffering from a drug overdose. They suspected, the doctor did, that he may have overdosed on some medication, but possibly he didn't know because his story was difficult to assess at that time. He said he just treated him like someone who had possibly overdosed, ordered him to be given charcoal drink to absorb any toxins in his stomach, and observe him for 4 hours.
Yeah,
that's it.
Pump the stomach.
That's it. By 2:15 a.m., they had confirmed that he was an official suspect in the murder here.
Oh, boy.
And Detective Rosa then administers his Miranda rights. He had not been read his rights at all till now.
He just offered up all that shit.
Yeah, and they took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because at the time he wasn't under arrest for anything.
Right.
Because they didn't know if any of that was true. He could have just been nuts. So that's a tough one. But he said the cop said he believed he understood his rights at the time. The nurse then gave him the charcoal drink at 2:30. He slept until she had to wake him to take x-rays. She had no difficulty arousing him. Again, rock hard.
That's great.
Rock tumescent. He knew her name and where he was. He was a little unsteady in his walk. She said he never worsened while he was at the hospital and essentially was in the same condition when he was discharged at 6 a.m.
Okay.
So the nurse said, it seemed to balance out by the end of the night. He stood unassisted to dress himself. He signed a consent form releasing his clothes to the police and verbalized the understanding of the release. She said that his speech was thick to her, indicating he took something, but he was understandable. Right. So the doctor said that if Brad had taken 35 Klonopin on the bridge, as he said he would have, he would have expected him to be a lot sleepier and more difficult to arouse as of 6 a.m. And now as of 3 a.m., his urine test was negative for Klonopin. None at all. And the test, it doesn't put Boost Bar in the test. That's not on the test.
Yeah,
so
and 3 hours after ingesting 35 tabs of that.
It'd be in there.
It doesn't go away that fast.
No, that shit your urine would be mostly Klonopin.
Teeming, yeah.
The doctor said, though, that some or all of the Klonopin could have been absorbed into the bloodstream rather than being present in his urine, depending on when he ingested it. But if he ingested it on the bridge, like he said, or on the way to the bridge, it would definitely be there then. So they discharged him. He's taken to the police station. He appeared on videotape to be a little out of it, with difficulty keeping his balance. He had to be held up a lot of the time to make sure he didn't lose his balance. So he gets into the police station. He's asked to sign a written rights form. He signed his name, but had the rights initialed for him. His capacity to understand his rights at that time is unclear. Then he made some statements to a Detective Falcone, consistent with his earlier statements he made about the killing and his concerns about his personal effects, especially his car.
Yeah.
And ultimately declined to speak with a lawyer.
That car must be rad.
It's got to be amazing. They search his car. Now, first of all, the tuxedo shirt that they found from the track of the junior high school was missing buttons that were found in his car.
Uh-oh. So
The shirt was, yeah. The shirt was soaked with blood from he's not getting his deposit back from that Tux place.
Men's Warehouse is keeping that.
Fuck yeah. The shirt was soaked with blood on the right front and right arm from the perspective of someone wearing the shirt, stage right over here,
Yep.
and showed other blood evidence on the right sleeve and left sleeve of something bloody brushing against it. Its blood markings are consistent with the person wearing the shirt holding someone against his right chest with his right arm wrapped around the person for a long enough time for blood to soak all the way through the shirt.
Oh, wow.
Choking someone.
Yeah.
Chin lock. Many of the other blood markings are consistent with bloodied hair coming in contact with the shirt. That's the brush marks. His sweatshirt that was seized showed blood evidence on the inside of the location that would have touched his chest area if he wore it backwards, which is what he was doing, I guess. His car was eventually examined after it was put on a lift. It showed blood on the undercarriage. There was no blood after the transmission pan, but white fibers from the nightgown were visible before that area.
Okay.
The blood began to the rear of the front tires. Inside the car were found the ring box with the diamond in it, his wallet, a vest to his tuxedo, and a bow tie, a cell phone cord, a Zestral pill bottle on the front seat containing 6 Buspar pills and numerous Zestral pills. Didn't we say that was blood pressure or cholesterol or something? And a Buspar pill starter kit. There was no pill bottle for Klonopin found in the car, and no Klonopin.
I didn't take that.
So they do a mental competency evaluation with him here. They take him to the hospital, and that's going to be a big deal. He's sent to the forensic unit. Basically, he sits down with interviews on September 22nd, 23rd, and 27th over 3 hours. It indicates that pretty much as soon as he got to the forensic unit from the ACI, he attempted to drown himself in a prison toilet in the ACI. That's why he got there. How, dude? To go from, imagine going from the bridge that has all the water beneath you to how do I fucking drown myself in a prison toilet?
In a 4-inch deep prison toilet.
Wow. The doctor said he did seem to have the ability to cooperate with an attorney, because that's part of whether you're competent or not. He said, quote, this is Brad, said, quote, I want to make sure that they understand that I have a chemical imbalance. That's what my psychiatrist told me.
Right.
But he is found competent here. He's competent for court and shit like that. They diagnosed him, 2 doctors diagnosed him with an anxiety disorder with an adjustment disorder, and they believed he could be brought back to the jail. Another little story here. October 2nd, 1999, a Dr. Ingall interviewed him at the ACI. This doctor would become an expert witness for the defense later. In his interview with Dr. Ingall, he was extremely anxious but very remorseful. He said that the relationship with Jean was stormy. He said they'd argue about her children because he felt they were leeches who spent inordinate amounts of money that he considered wasteful. And he talked about the problems surrounding Jean's son. He said Jean would respond to his complaints about her children by telling him that he did not understand because he never had any children, which is
that's a nice way to
very true.
Yeah, that's not the way to relate it.
That's how you say it. What do you know? You fucking, your sperm don't even work. How the fuck do you know
Ball
about
as
kids?
fuck. Don't talk to me about kids.
Jesus Christ. You got thin jizz over here. Look at you.
18 years of throwing at the same woman, never once.
Hey, never
Fuck
once. She told him that if you want me, you get the whole package, quote unquote. He said they broke off their engagement a year before, or once before. She threw the ring at him. Yet he said he loved her throughout, and he said that he never loved anyone else in his life. He said she was so good, quote unquote. She's just so good. In the interview here, he also talked about the wedding day. He said that Jean had been telling him about how anxious she was for him to meet Wayne's brother who sold trucks in Texas. So perhaps the 2 of them could link up on the internet for business purposes. He kept telling her,
baby.
Yeah, he kept telling her repeatedly he didn't want to meet the man or anyone else from her ex-husband's family. He didn't like them. He then talked about the wedding day. He said he began taking the Klonopin tablets. He said he took about 40 tablets over the course of the day, possibly 25 to 40, somewhere in there. He said they argued on the way home from the reception. She was angry. He didn't want to meet the ex-husband's family. He was driving erratically and heard branches brushing against his car. He said he felt like he was in a fog. He said Jean asked him if he'd been drinking. He told her that he had not been drinking and had nothing to do with, had not had anything to drink since Dr. Fixman advised him to stop drinking. He said the argument escalated in intensity. When he pulled in the driveway, she took off her engagement ring and threw it at him.
Right.
He went into the house to get a flashlight since he couldn't find the ring on the ground. Jean had kept a metal flashlight next to her bed, but he couldn't recall if she gave it to him or whether he went upstairs to get it. He looked for the ring with the flashlight and found it. He said then he went to the downstairs closet to find a box for the ring, found it, put the ring into the box, and put the box in the glove compartment of his car. He then said he went back to the house, found the door to Jean's bedroom locked. He, quote, forced the door open, kicked is a better word, and found her in bed in her nightgown.
Oh.
He said they were yelling at each other, and he grabbed her around the neck and strangled her. He said he felt completely out of control. He said he let her go, and she got up and went down the stairs. He followed her, and once they were downstairs, he hit her on the head 3 or 4 times with that flashlight, which is brutal. She pushed him down and ran outside yelling for help, he said. He then followed her, grabbed her from behind around the chest, just like they said.
Yep.
He then felt her slip to the ground. He got into the car to leave, and as he was backing up, the car stopped as the wheel hit something. He pulled ahead, then backed up again out of the driveway. You know, get a running start at it.
This is his story?
This is his story. This is why he's fine. After he turned the corner, he said he heard a noise from the wheel, stopped the car, got out, and saw that the mud flap was bent. He straightened it, noticed that his shirt was covered in blood, so he took it off and threw it on the ground. He put on the sweatshirt he had in the trunk, and he said, I just wanted to get out of there. I thought the worst. Yeah. He said he headed for the bridge, took some more Klonopin. He said he kept calling one of his sisters and telling her everything. And he said he wanted his sister to send help for Jean. He said, I figured something bad had happened. I loved her. So he said he swallowed the rest of the Klonopin, climbed out on the I-beam. Officer Rosa came. He told him about everything. And next thing he knows, he woke up with an IV in his arm.
At the
and
ACI.
that's that. So this is going to go to trial.
Oh, boy.
Now, he waives his jury trial right because any jury is going to see all of this and go, this is very, very bad. Whereas judges are not shocked by circumstances usually.
Yeah, so he's just going to present to a judge and hope he finds him incompetent?
It's a bench trial.
Okay.
So he's going for diminished capacity also, but instead of a jury deciding, it's going to be the judge.
All right.
Generally, when things are very, very heinous, a lot of times people opt for the bench trial just because if a jury hears certain things, if it's bad enough, you're worried that they're not going to care if you're the right person or not. Right. They just want someone to go down for that shit because they feel responsible. So he goes for that. It's a bench trial. He's going for diminished capacity. That's his defense. Because he admitted to everybody who would listen that he did it. So I didn't do it isn't a defense here at all. He denied that the killing was done with premeditation or even an intent to kill. He asserted at trial that a defense of diminished capacity due to intoxication from Klonopin prior to the crime. That's what he's going for.
Okay.
In support, he has all of his psychiatric and CVS pharmacy records for 1999. The defense also presented the medical records of the defendant from the Newport Hospital and all that kind of shit. Alma testifies about her 911 call about Brad possibly being drunk again was not based on her observations, but her assumption that he'd been to a wedding and was probably drinking. She said she was clearly trying to make sense of her observations at the time and perhaps not to rush to judgment as to Brad before she had many facts. So maybe it was an accident. He was drunk. She was clear in that her assumptions drove her statements and not any direct observations as to Brad's actions or inaction consistent with intoxication. The defense case is a bunch of experts and Brad. He testifies and lays it out, man. He says that him and Jean were on again, off again. First of all, he got the fucking year wrong they met and started dating. He says 97, all this shit, and on cross-examination, they're like, you met in August of 96. Is that true? And he was like, oh, yeah, I guess so. So, like, when they met right away is a lie. So he said Jean got him to see the doctor, and, he said that on cross-examination, he admitted to an incident referred to by the witnesses that he kicked in Jean's door from the breezeway into the kitchen because they had been arguing, and then he called a couple hours later, and they played all the voicemails.
Here we go.
They played all the fucking answering machine messages, all this type of shit. He said he was leaving messages of apology on her machine. And then the cross-examination were like, how is this an apology? Click. You bitch. You fucking son of a bitch. How dare you? So, yeah, that was dated March 9th, 1997, which I think is the day Biggie died.
I don't know.
I think it's March 9th, 97. So he admitted for the first time that he and Jane began dating, when he said here. He basically made it so they started dating after his divorce came through. That's what he's like. He picked it the next month after his divorce came through and said, yeah, we were dating right after I got a divorce. And they were like, no, you weren't. You were dating while you were married, stupid. Now he said he was drinking, though. He said he remembered the calls. Oh, this was from that one. This is from a night here. He said that they began dating. He said that I had been drinking. He was quick to say that he remembered making all the calls on the machine from a tavern and then changed his story again. He said he couldn't remember making all the calls because he was pretty well looped that night. He said he had probably 6 or 7 Absolute vodka 7-Up drinks. Gross.
7 and Absolute is what he drinks?
I don't know what the fuck you're doing there. He then said that these were not calls of apology, but were in fact calls he made before going over to Jean's house and kicking in her door. He was asked if he was angry, and he replied that he was aggravated.
Frustrated.
They go all about the pills and everything like that. He said that he was taking pills. They said there's no fucking proof you were taking pills, and he said, sure, I was. Yeah. He denied knowing anything about an event in August that would have prompted Jean to call her sister Patty to talk about getting a restraining order from him. When asked when it was that Jean first gave him the ring back, he said August 99, 3 weeks before the wedding. He said she gave it back because his anxiety was running wild. He had gone back to see Dr. Fixman to see what she could do. He confessed that when Jean gave him the ring back, she said she did not think she could marry him. She had threatened to give it back before, but this time she did. She said she did it face-to-face, quote, probably in her kitchen or her house somewhere. But then they continued to see each other, and eventually she asked for the ring back. But that was just before the bridal shower, so she wanted – it might have been an accessory. He was not concerned that he might not get back the expensive ring he had put him in that had put him in debt, because she told his mother that she would give it back anytime if it didn't work out. Okay, the wedding day, he just kept talking about started taking Klonopin right away at 6 a.m.
Wow.
And he was taking a few more every hour, a few more here, a few more there. He said that he kept them in the console of his car. He put the vial in his pocket and took them in the house. He admitted also that this was the first time at this time is when he first criticized Jean's hair, which is why she was saying, are you sure my hair looks okay? He was fucking
being a bitch to her. Yeah.
Yeah. He confessed that it was one of the first things he said to her that morning.
Wow.
Yeah, what's wrong with your hair? Wow. He said on direct examination that he got back in the car and put the Klonopin back in the console, went to Bristol around 8:30 a.m. to make sure the reception was properly set up, stopped for breakfast with Joel and Vanessa. He said he took the pills out of the console, put them back in his pocket, and took a few more at breakfast. So he keeps talking about breakfast and pills and everybody pills. Yep. He returned to Jean's house around noon, and he said that he had an argument with Jean over her hair. He told her he was not going to the wedding and left the house. She said, well, if you don't want to go, stay home.
Don't go.
Yeah. So he called from the cell phone to apologize and said he'd go to the wedding, which we knew about. Yeah. He got back. He took off from there and had 3-4 more Klonopin, stopped for ice and beer, returned to Jean's house, had a beer, and then said he got a Sprite. He took the golf clubs out of his car and said he took some more pills in the bathroom so that no one saw him. He admitted that he did not want to wear the tux and that he did not want to go to the wedding, but he knew it meant a lot to Jean. Jesus Christ. According to him, he said Jean saw him taking a pill, and she said, they're going to knock you down by taking the pills. And he went outside and took pictures of Alma's grandchild with Jean and Gendra before the limo left, went to the wedding. And, that was it. And he just describes how he did this. He took 3 more pills. He did that. Yeah. He took 4 more pills. Yeah. He said that he didn't want to meet people from her past. He said someone that was special to her at one time and someone with whom she shared children. He didn't want to do that because he wanted no part of her past.
Because he's insecure.
That's why he hates her kids. Yeah, exactly. He said she would not even let up as they danced. She kept saying please, and he kept saying no, meaning go talk to the brother there about trucks. He said he wanted to leave and wanted no part of meeting Wayne's family, which that's the only thing, again, I think he's fair in saying, I don't want to do business with this guy. Leave me the fuck alone about it. You don't pay my bills. What the hell do you care what I fucking...
There's just no way she's constantly saying, go talk to him. He's right there.
Other people said that too, though, that she was real insistent on it.
Really? All day, huh?
She really wanted him to get with Wayne's brother because maybe if they got along, then eventually it would, you know what I mean, bleed in and then everybody would be okay. I think that's what she's trying to do is bring people together. And she's trying to do it in a way that's like, this is advantageous to you.
Right.
I think she's trying to be smart about it. They talk about the ride home. On the way home, he says he was in the high-speed lane riding close to the berm, and Jean hollered at him to pull the car back over to the right. Josie completely denies that ever happened. Okay. The swerving or the yelling, any of it. Back at Jean's house, he said he went to the house. Josie went into the house to get her keys. He remained behind. He said that she came around the front of the car, threw the ring at him, and said, "Here's your ring." Jean told him to go home. He said he was upset. When asked about what he meant by upset, he said he was trying to find the ring and he didn't know where it went. So he told her he needed a flashlight. She said she brought him out he said she brought him out a flashlight. He got down on his hands and knees, and all this shit happened. So he finished off the Klonopin bottle, he said. Yeah. And he said when he goes inside, the bedroom door was locked. He had never had it locked before. So he sat at the top of the stairs and pleaded with Jean to let him in. She said she would not let him in and he needed to go home. He didn't go home because he wanted to talk to her. He thought she was wrong for trying to force her ex-in-laws on him. Okay, well, today isn't the time we're going to discuss this anymore.
It's already over.
He said he wanted to tell her she was wrong, but she wouldn't let him in. So he got up, put his foot against the door, and kicked it in. She was sitting on the bed in the nightgown looking startled. She didn't say anything. Right. He pushed her back on the bed, got on top of her, and started choking her. This is his testimony.
This is how I tell her things.
He denied thinking about choking her and said he'd said nothing before he did it. He squeezed her neck and she gasped and made gurgling and growling noises. Oh, she couldn't breathe. He then got off of her and got up and went downstairs. She was crying and wanted to know why he did that. He didn't answer her. He said that as she walked down the stairs, he followed a couple stairs behind her. She wasn't talking. She went in the kitchen, got a glass of water, and started crying and asking him why he did it. He said he didn't respond. He just stood there looking at her. He said he didn't know what he said to her. He said he put his arm around her, picked up the flashlight, and then hit her in the head with it 3 times. Wow. The flashlight had been on the table in the kitchen. He said he didn't plan to hit her with the flashlight, and after he hit her a few times, he fell down, and he thinks that she went down too. Though she's more likely to going down than you.
Yeah.
So then he's saying he felt dizzy and stuff like that. On cross-examination, he said she got up and walked or ran. She ran outside. I heard her holler, help me," in a soft voice. He said nothing but followed her outside, put his arms around her, he said, to bring her in.
Chased her, he did not silence her.
Yeah, he said I didn't know where he put it. I put my arms. He said though he couldn't say if he put her on the ground. Yeah, he denied, quote, shutting her up now, even though he said that earlier. He said he didn't know what happened. Next thing he knows, he was inside the car. He was getting into the car. He didn't know where she was in relation to the car. He started to back out of the driveway. The car stopped. He pulled forward, kept going. He said he didn't know whether she was under the car or not. And then he talked about the mud flap and all that kind of shit. Yeah. So that's his testimony.
Fascinating.
And then we have all the expert testimony, basically, of them saying that they don't think he was intoxicated.
Yeah.
He might have taken a few too many Buspar on the way to the hospital, but he was not acting like he took all the Klonopin.
Right. He's not under Klonopin.
No. And he said he was still taking it a couple hours before the test, which I think it would still show up.
That stuff doesn't leave that fast.
I wouldn't think that fast. So we're going to buzz through to the end of this here. So he basically has his own defense expert witness who says he could have been pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But this was not somebody this was the one person he talked to. Remember at the hospital I said would defend him later on?
He wouldn't have had that much Klonopin left over to take.
No, and the other thing is they said that the doctor failed to take into factor that the analysis of his thoughts and actions after the crime, and they relied on his statements about Klonopin intoxication before the crime and his history of violent behavior when intoxicated, not this crime and what happened. So they have their own rebuttal witnesses going, oh, no, this guy's a total asshole. He's violent when he wants to be. He's violent when he's drunk. He didn't take pills. He should be fine. He told the one doctor that after Jean went downstairs, she said, I loved you. Why did you choke me? And that was one of the things that set him off.
Yeah.
And he was covered in blood. He said, I just wanted to get out of there, jetted out of there. talks about the bridge, talks about everything like that, being stuck on the fucking bridge. Now, the judge here has a lot to say. This is the judge, because they make the verdict. Mm-hmm. So the judge gets to say some shit before they announce the verdict. It goes to the jury.
He's the jury.
To the judge. He said, I do not believe the defendant's woven tale of Klonopin ingestion. I believe that any Klonopin he took that day was taken immediately before or just after the crime. I do not assign any weight to any of the other corroborative evidence marshaled in his favor. I do not accept his testimony that he lacked thoughts during the crime and memories thereafter. Absent such credible evidence, his defense of diminished capacity is built on sand. Through the sheer incredulity of his testimony, he has eliminated voluntary Klonopin intoxication as a defense to murder. On the state of this evidence, no rational finder of fact could find the defendant had a capacity so diminished by Klonopin as to preclude him from premeditating or forming an intent to kill. It is my judgment beyond a reasonable doubt, based on the persuasive and opinion of testimony of Dr. Wall, the state's expert, that the defendant's level of Klonopin intoxication, together with his psychiatric conditions, did not paralyze his will, take from him the power to withstand evil impulses, or render his mind incapable of forming a sane design.
Okay.
He then said, she goes on to say that the testimony of Nurse Aubin, Detective Rosa, and the defendant's sisters as to his statements in the minutes and hours immediately following the killing were very credible. They flatly contradicted his trial testimony that he had no thoughts while he was hurting Jean, nor no ability to plan his behavior, no recollection of what happened after Jean was in his arms. Yeah. They show that he intended to kill Jean, and that he not only knew he killed Jean, but how he killed her.
Yep.
Absolutely guilty of domestic murder in the first degree.
Oh.
Yes, and this involves torture, and it's an aggravated battery to the victim as well.
That's got to be an extra sentence, right?
It's something. So the judge comes in here for sentencing.
Yeah.
And he had held a sentencing hearing. There's aggravating factors, mitigating factors. I'll just read the end of this. Quote, self-pity then set in, and you became overwhelmed, not by your brutal acts of violent killing, but what would happen to you next. You feared going to the adult correctional institutions. You contemplated suicide, your ultimate act of selfishness, but you were too cowardly to end your own life. You're a bitch ass.
Yeah.
You, sir, may fuck off. Life imprisonment without parole.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. So,
life without.
Life without. That's what he's appealing, is that sentence, but it's aggravated based on certain factors that you can do that, and it would take way too long.
Judge ain't buying it.
No, to get into the legalities of exactly why it would take us forever, and we don't have time for that. Okay. So he appeals the 2001 here on a few different accounts. It's affirmed. Then in 2002, he appeals on whether the trial justice erred in imposing a life sentence or life without parole that did not set forth, when the indictment did not set forth factual allegations or a statutory reference sufficient to invoke that penalty. There's a few different things. Whether the trial justice erred in rejecting his diminished capacity defense, the motion to suppress statements made at the bridge and at the hospital that got denied. Anyway, denied, dismissed, affirmed, get fucked. There you go.
See you around.
Have a good one, you son of a bitch. Yeah. So currently, he is still alive. He's 79 years old.
Wow.
79, and he is sitting in the maximum security wing at the, where is this?
He's still dangerous.
Portsmouth is where he is, yeah. Absolutely. So there you go, everybody. There is Cranston, Rhode Island, and a fucked up ass case, right?
Why would he do that? He's just look, if you're in an abusive relationship, get the fuck out. This is so cyclical and so ugly.
This is fucking crazy, and he kept doing it.
I can't believe that his third wife, or the third relationship he was in, is the first one to get anything that's dangerous. That's like life-threatening.
It's worse.
Yeah.
Can you believe I thought this was an express? That's the other thing. That's the other thing that I don't believe. 3 expresses. So there you go, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. If you do, please get on whatever app you're on and give us 5 stars. It helps tremendously to grow the show. So thank you for doing that. Netflix thumbs up helps a lot too. They help people see the show more. So do that. Thank you so much for doing that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yeah.
Tickets for live shows. You're going to love the fucking live show. I promise you that. If you like this show, the live show is amazing. So check that out. September 18th, Milwaukee at the Pabst. Great theater. Only a few tickets left, so get those now. Next night on the 19th of September, State Theater, Minneapolis. Get those tickets right now. Can't wait for that. Then in October, Dallas, San Jose, Sacramento. In November, Terrytown and Boston. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Follow on social media at Smalltown Murder on Instagram, at Smalltown Pod on Facebook. So you can do that. You can do all that stuff. Listen to our other shows. Get yourself Patreon. Do it all, baby. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get every last drop and speck and megabyte that we put out of stuff here. As soon as you subscribe, you get almost 400 back bonus episodes immediately upon subscription to binge. New ones every other week. One crime and sports, one small town murder, and you get them all. This week, crime and sports, death on skis. Need I say more? Then for Small Town Murder, Love After Lockup Season 6. Holy shit, are we excited for that. We've done about 12 episodes on the phone with each other, not being recorded. So just having fun. Can't wait for that. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports. And on top of that, you get a ad-free. Get everything we put out ad-free. And on top of that, you get a shout-out, which happens right now. Jimmy, hit me with the names of the best fucking people ever who, if they killed us, would have some self-respect and actually jump off the goddamn bridge. Jimmy, hit me with the list of the best bridge jumpers we got. Hit me with them right now.
This executive producer are Gary Howard in Hubbard, Ohio.
Damn,
I don't
Gary,
even know where the
far
hell
away.
that is. Penny Boyce and Happy Hour in Omaha, Nebraska. I know where that is.
We know that one.
Positive thing. The other producers this week are Scott Richard, Peyton Meadows, Janice Hill, Liz Vasquez, Nikki Thurault, Casey Kampf. Oh, my. What does that mean?
A struggle?
Kampf?
Isn't that Mein Kampf? Isn't that my struggle?
I didn't want to say that part.
Well, that's where we all know it from.
Yeah, I know.
Speak German.
I don't want to give it a plug.
I think people are aware of it.
You don't think that perhaps we just told somebody that's never heard of it?
If they haven't, wow. You have, what the fuck, man?
Casey Struggle, Kimberly Corwin, Elizabeth with no last name, Shelby Gobeli, Liz Lynn, John with no last name, Sarah Schneider, Jennifer Triplett, Kristen with no last name, Patty Holt, Shabreen Price, Hutch, X86 or times 86 or something, Matthew Estep. What is it? Yeah,
something 86. Who knows?
He really loves that number. Megan Cherry, Andrew Young, Kayla Forer, Madeline Trish, Joe Wester, Max York, AA, Trish Gale, Jessica Beal. Probably not. Janice
Arn
Piles
signed up. Why not? Arn Anderson signed up. Why not?
Yeah. Janice Piles, named after that terrible disease in your buttocks.
Oh, no. Poor thing. We're sorry.
Tammy Heath, Amber with no last name, Darth Bubbles, Tanya Simons, Meads with no last name or Meds, Dawn Heath, Corley Coetzee, Jorge Andrade, Mike Hunt, probably. It's a real person, James, I swear. Liz Kelly, obviously. Michaela Kate, Adriana Mata, Garen Rucker, Tori Doty, John Duncan, Ann Bear, Anna Barre, On Bear, Patty Poston, Donna Whitaker, Dwayne Schramko, Emily Vortherms, Blake Murray, Devin Daniels, Dana Little, John with no last name, Catherine with no last name, Dan and Roy Thomas, Kelsey Ann Andrade, Mike with no last name, Sarah McGee, Matt Fentress, DV. Hope it's not that. Jacqueline Dins.
Hi, I'm Domestic Violence. Nice to meet you.
This show's
Have you read Mein Kampf?
Domestic Violence.
Brought to you by Mein Kampf.
Domestic Violence.
Brought to you by Mein Kampf.
Rebecca Eisenbacher, Crystal Nichols, Kelly Wilson, Daniel Hernandez, Keisha Seymour, Jeep Jules, the dog groomer, Dustin Ross, James Kelly, Cole Marer, Christian Zoll, Christine Cat, Luna with no last name, Mama Jen, Andrea Esposito, Jason with no last name, Brian Stuckman, Ad Frost, Josh with no last name, Ali Mustrick, Laura Capone, Natalie England, Juan Luna, Zach D, Jen Rook, Mike B, Cynthia Goldazen, Allison Haynes, Zachary Brinkeroff, Mandy Lockable. I'll bet that's corrected. There's no way her last name is Lockable, right?
Lockable.
Stephen Arbutina, James Harrington, Nicolette, isn't that somebody? Nicolette Lewis, Lise Hoppler, Samara Jenkins, Tina Duris, Sin Lin, M Tag, Amanda Arnold, Jennifer Moulet, TK Van Man, Sandy Delaney, Jeff Dalkey, Eric Bryans, Elk I, with no last name, Joel with no last name, Brenna Lure, Robert Leman, Laura Feldebruge.
Wow.
Holly Cortell, Craig with no last name, Addis Phillips, Mark O'Brien, Kristen Seibert, Garrett Lambert, Jessica Kahn, Davey Wavy, Januszewski, Owen with no last name, TB with no last name, JC Hennington, Molly Rhodes, Jacob Buch, Wilma Finger Do, James, because that's for sure a real person. Liza Watts, Gabriel Acri, Morgan Hall, Shannon Davis, can't beat crazy, James. Skull Vikings. Whatever that even means. What does the skull part mean? What is that? I don't know.
Skull? Like the dip?
SKOL? What? Like no, it's the Vikings.
Skull.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like that. I thought you meant. Like,
what are they?
I don't know.
Does that mean like let's go?
I'm still working on conf. I'm not sure.
I don't know what the skull part means.
I'm not sure.
They put it on fucking everything. Sarah Bordson Bailey, Monica Perez, Jacob Torres, Corbin Perry, Courtney Ward, Jamie with no last name, Scott Hansen, probably the kicker, or was he a quarterback?
Obviously.
Kicker?
Hansen's a kicker.
Yeah. Larry Thomas, Kathy Heron, Marsha Metcalf, Paige Garner, Michelle Hyduke, Dixon Beaver, James, definitely a real person. Nick with no last name, Elaine with no last name, DME USMC, what is that? Drill Major Emergency.
Some Marines.
Yeah. Heather Smith, Nicole with no last name, Nikki V, Nomadic Art. KT with no last name, Charles Kuko, Grant Hudson, Kate with no last name, Trevor O'Brien, Celine Zahn, Matthew Richardson, Tina Loves Jim. Evidently he's a powerful wizard, James. Vaughn Bond, Matthew Richards, Chris with no last name, Sandy Kendall, Stacy with no last name, and every person that patrons this show, you're the best.
Thank you so much, you amazing sons of bitches. Sons of bitches, as he would call you. We love you so much. We appreciate all that you do for us every day, every week, whether you just tell somebody about it. Just, hey, I listen to this podcast. That's what gets people to listen to shit. People they trust. So that helps a lot. Whatever you do for us, we can't thank you enough. So thank you. You want to find us on social media, shutupandgivememurder.com is where you find all that information. So keep coming back and seeing us week after week after week. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.